It's always so funny.
It starts off
Always.
crazy. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Hero Brew Podcast. I'm Max,
I'm Cam.
My name's Austin.
and we got a very special guest on this
know where he's
episode
at.
today, Mr.
Somewhere.
ScoopFlow himself.
There he is.
Hello, I'm here.
Dude, we got a really, really big episode. Thank you for joining us today, dude. Appreciate it. We had to call in the big guns because on today's episode, like, I don't know if you want to tilt your hat a little bit, we're talking about X-Men. Everyone's been wanting it. We've been kind of teasing it. So we brought in the person that knows the most out of us about it.
That's real. Yeah.
So, we're just going to be talking about the X-Men coming into the MCU, kind of some lore knowledge for you guys that don't know about X-Men. And yeah, you guys down for that?
I'm so down.
Let's do it. I'm excited.
All right, let's freaking go, dude. Brant, you want to take us away with how you got connected to the X-Men? I know you talked about it a little bit previously on a different episode, but take us away.
I'll be real quick with it. When I was a kid, 8 years old, got my first X-Men comic, X-Men 250. Went to the comic store with my cousin Jason, and I got X-Men 250. And then my next comic was a classic X-Men 39, which those two are two different genres of X-Men, right? So you're talking really classic X-Men was a retelling of an old story from X-Men 133. And so I just got introduced to Wolverine. I got introduced to John Byrne, Chris Claremont, Jim Lee, Mark Silvestri, these awesome artists, these awesome writers. So when I was 8, I grew up on a dairy farm. I didn't have anything. We didn't have much, but I had my comics. And so I just mashed through comic books. And so ever since, I've been a fan. And be honest, though, I haven't read I get the X-Men currently, but it's not the same as when I was a young kid. Those stories back then were just fantastic. So yeah, I'm an X-Men fan, baby.
Nice. So they're still currently making like new X-Men like novels or comics.
Yeah, they're still making X-Men comics. Marvel as a whole in all its comics is kind of a mess. I feel like they just have too many titles. It's just too saturated. And I lost touch with the X-Men probably, within the last 15 years. It's just nothing has really pulled at me when it comes to comics. I mean, I actually, you guys know the comic room. That's my little thing that I've been doing, which is super fun. But I'm actually going back and rereading those old issues, which is super sick. A lot of them that I've never read before or had only read in like trade paperback form, like the graphic novels that you have. So that's, but like the X-Men, man, it used to be just iconic, and now it just kind of flounders. I mean, and that's okay. I think they just need a whole new rehaul, and hopefully they'll figure it out. They'll roll out right with the MCU. We'll see.
Yeah, that brings me up to my next question I have. So X-Men started off, and you could kind of pitch in. A lot of the X-Men people are used to currently is from the early 2000s, right? We have obviously came out with the original X-Men movie that came out, I believe, in 2000. Focused heavy on Wolverine, Rogue. Obviously had Cyclops, Jean Grey, Storm and stuff, and Professor X, obviously Magneto. But the comics didn't kind of start off with that group of people. Like what people are used to now, they're like, when they think of X-Men, they obviously think of Wolverine. But just to my knowledge and from my understanding, like it didn't even start off, like Wolverine wasn't even part of the X-Men group, correct? Like
I mean, the X-Men originated in the 60s, right? In the 60s, it was, you had Jean Grey, you had Cyclops, you had Beast, but not the furry Beast that we all know. It was, he was in human form. He just had huge hands and huge feet. You had Angel, who, I mean, he's gone through some different phases. But and then you had Iceman, Bobby Drake, baby. And so those were like the core. They were kids. It was cool. And then what happened is like the X-Men the comics kind of just got lost. And they did a lot of reprinting later in the later issues. And then in 1975, they relaunched it with Giant Size X-Men. And with Giant Size X-Men, they brought in, so, you're talking like 12 years later, they brought in a whole new thing, and their whole thing was to go international. The expectation was that this was going to be a book that would come out every few months. This was like a special. So it was a giant size edition. That was the introduction of Nightcrawler, Colossus, Storm, Wolverine became a part of the team. It was like his second appearance. And then you had Cyclops running the thing. You had Banshee coming in. Banshee had already kind of been a part of stuff. So it was just this whole new, they called that the second Genesis. Second Genesis was this whole thing. And that the X-Men weren't kids anymore. They were like, young adults or, 20 somethings, figuring all these things out. And it caught the audience way better. And that was just also this time of comics in the 70s where things were just popping, the Bronze Age of comic books where you got like Wolverine, big characters are coming out, Punisher, all this, like, so stuff is just kind of happening. You've got a lot more. I think there was this creative era of storytelling. And so that really kind of, and Giant Size X-Men, when it hit, and people were like, this is sick. Then all of a sudden now they relaunched the X-Men with issue 94. So I couldn't tell you the exact issue, but 92, 93, I think I might have started in maybe the 70s or 60s. We're all just reprints, right? And so just retelling of those old stories they already had. Well, 94 comes out. It's a brand new team and it's brand new storytelling. So Chris Claremont goes on a 17-year spree of telling these beautiful stories. So you're basically, think about it like a TV series or a TV show. It's just like think of Game of Thrones was able to be 17 years, 17 seasons instead of having to mash the ending real quick. You get to build, you get to create more. And so just an epic run that he went on. But all these movies that you're watching, really a lot of those are stories based off of the Claremont run, which I'm going through, which is super sick. But there was the original X-Men as well. And the original X-Men were definitely a lot more vanilla, a lot more just kind of, they just needed some spice and some flavor. And I think that's what happened with Giant Size X-Men 50 years ago.
Yeah. No, that's it's definitely something like, I think it blew up. I didn't know that the giant size X-Men was like a thing. I didn't know it was like a reissue basically, or a reestablishment of the team. I just knew like somehow they switched that original the six members. They just switched it up, and I guess you are right. They were a whole bunch of younger kids, like you said, and then it definitely turned more adult like,
right? And a little more like and so I didn't come on the scene until X-Men 250 again, and I mean that by that time I was kind of near the end, last probably 5 years of Claremont's run. So like I'm in the last chunk of that, and but I mean in all that time, and even then since, right? Like, there's so many characters, there's so many mutants out there, there's so many stories. It's just pretty awesome. So it is almost in a way like this big soap opera. But it's dope. I mean, you've got characters that are so sick. We got to get a taste of Gambit in Deadpool and Wolverine, So when the very first X-Men movie came out, I was actually at Comic-Con. I went and saw it down in San Diego with my cousin Jason. And afterwards, we went to Comic-Con the next day, and I ran into Bryan Singer, who's the actual director. I bum rushed him, had him sign my movie ticket. I have a signed movie ticket. I should have brought it in here. And have all these like, this wasn't the cell phone era, so I actually literally had like a disposable selfie with this guy, and he looks like he's getting bum rushed. Poor dude. But
no, that's freaking insane.
Totally
So
I became,
for me, watching those X-Men movies was so bitchin'. X2 was fantastic. Then you got to X-Men 3, and you're just like, okay, wait, what's happening? Okay. And then X-Men First Class, I loved. There's all this stuff, but all these things are all you're dealing with Fox. And now Fox, isn't, now it's all Disney. And so with all that Disney money and Disney just has a pool of creatives. They have a pool of talent. And so I've been excited about when Disney finally does move forward with the X-Men. We just got Fantastic Four last year. And so you're like, okay, keep building this, because the Marvel universe is so massive that there's so many stories to already like just cherry pick the prime ones. You could make some bangers. So.
Right.
Well, I think it's gonna be cool. There's talks obviously about Kevin Feige retiring after, like, sooner than later, right? but his main focus after the whole Doomsday and Secret Wars is going to be on the X-Men. And it's like,
Right.
we mentioned this in a previous episode, but it's going to be a full circle moment for him because he was one of the executive producers for Bryan Singer's X-Men.
Right.
It was like his first Marvel gig with them. And so,
I just thought of this. Check this out. Hold on a second.
yeah. He's going to bring out something crazy.
Yep.
Great.
Some art piece or some sculpture or something.
Yeah, imagine if we went live, dude. We should have went live.
I wish we could.
So,
Is this the one you
so
just
we
got?
had done a thing at Sundance, Dutch Bros thing at Sundance, and I had met the one of the producers from X-Men. And his name's
No.
Tom DeSanto. But look at this. He gave me one of
it's
the
an original
movie
poster?
and he like signed it all on there and stuff.
Bruh.
That's so
Dude,
sick.
that's so sick.
And he says, Brant, thanks for being a fellow mutant fanboy. Just like Wolverine, the Dutch Bros are the best at what they do. Enough said, Tom DeSanto.
That's
That's
so
fresh.
That's so sick.
His house is
What?
basically a X-Men museum.
Yeah, basically. Oh, it's
Forgot that I had that in here, so there
yeah,
you go.
I'm excited to see the storyline just because from our knowledge, from the knowledge we've gotten, like, even the original X-Men the animated series to X-Men 97 that came out in the past 2 years.
The best.
So
yeah,
good.
it's what we've gotten from Marvel and from X-Men is like almost like a post-apocalyptic type of thing. It's like it's always been dark, you know,
Yeah.
like I don't know,
Mhm.
and I don't know if there was ever a time where it's like, you know, a lot of Marvel comics and stuff, they're a lot bright, you know, they're super happy and stuff. Everything I've seen of X-Men has been like dark and like,
Yeah.
you know, the X-Men, the mutants have always been a thing where it's like mutants are the worst possible thing in the world, basically.
Yeah,
I want to
I
know
think-
if that's going to be
I
like the
hope.
big issue. Yeah, it's what
Well,
makes them
okay,
stand
so-
out. You know,
Mhm.
Here, can I?
go for it.
This is just
Do it. Just do it.
all
Whatever you
right.
got.
Let me just take you through.
Take it over, please.
I had basically spent some time thinking about how would I do it if I was going to do this. Like if
Yes.
Grant Borsman was allowed to be the guy to orchestrate the MCU's X-Men, how would he get
Mhm.
about it? So Kevin Feige calls me up and he's like, "Hey, Brant, I really want you
Kevin.
to oversee this whole thing." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, okay, listen, Mr. Feige, you don't call me by listen. Only my friends and lovers call me. Well, lover calls me Brant. You know, you call me Scoop Daddy. Okay, sir, you call me ScoopFlow." So Kevin Feige's like, "I'm so sorry, Scoop. Would you take over?" And I'd say, "Yeah, I guess."
I guess. Yeah.
So
why not?
how I would do it, how I would proceed is the first thing I thought about was the heart and soul of the X-Men. Now you got to understand with the X-Men, that is their whole thing. They're
Mhm.
feared and hated. They are
Mhm.
like, when you think of all the nasty darkness that our world has in it, like that, they are the recipients of all that, all
Mhm.
that hatred, all that anger and all that stuff. Like that's the mutants are like, you're different, you're you know, going to hell, all the nonsense, right? And so the X-Men are very much under the radar, low key, because they don't want to draw any attention to themselves. So that's the naturally out of the gate. So I think my first thing is like, well, you got to have who's running the show for this. So as I've been reading these old X-Men comics, the one thing that has popped out the most, this is stupid, but is Professor X's eyebrows. His eyebrows
Yeah.
are just popping. They're always like, ding, and he's like, bald, popping eyebrows. And so I'm like,
He's not
okay,
wrong. Yeah.
well, first off, we want to start this whole thing, and there has to be longevity. We're talking the next 15 to 20 years of storytelling. So
Yep.
it has to be somebody that is not in their 60s. You can't get that, you know, because
Mhm.
they're going to be 80 rock in it. I don't know, you know, like it
Yeah.
maybe in Professor Xavier's it can work. But I mean, we all saw, you know, like, listen, I mean, I'm hyped that, you know, Sir Patrick Stewart is coming back as Professor X, but like, homie is old, dude. Homie is done it, you know, like,
Yeah.
and so now thinking of like, so 20 years from now, who's going to be in that position? And so thinking about these big burly eyebrows, that was a hard one for me. And then it
I got some
topped.
big burly eyebrows.
He's 49. He's 49 years old. He got his real big pop off of a TV show about heroes called Heroes. His name's Zachary Quinto. Zachary
Mhm.
Quinto, he's got the big, he played Spock. You gave him a
Spock, yeah,
shave
Star
head.
Trek.
He still has that look to him that can kind of command, You know,
Mhm.
like you feel like you're like, oh, I gotta I'm gonna listen to what he's saying. You know, but when I think of Professor X in this, I'm not thinking Professor X is like out in front with a sword, like I'm thinking Professor X is like the general sending out his troops. He's like the head coach putting in his players. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's on the sidelines orchestrating all this stuff.
Mhm.
So you got Zachary Quinto this. And so how I would initially launch all this stuff is I would go Disney Plus, you do a 6-episode series, and this is season 1, and it's X-Men Second Genesis. Now, in
Okay.
X-Men Second Genesis, it's basically is a playoff of Giant Size X-Men when they relaunched
I love
all
it.
this stuff.
Okay.
They reintroduced all this stuff. And so how you would do it is you'd have 6 episodes. Each episode is an origin story. So the first is based on Cyclops. So your first episode, you've got Zachary Quinto, you got Professor X out there, and the whole episode is really him explaining what mutants are, like what is a mutant. And so
Right.
you go through history and this whole story of like how mutants have evolved into and how they're hated and feared and all this stuff. And then you slowly find him coming upon Cyclops. So Cyclops, I would cast. Have you guys ever watched? Did you guys? Yeah, I mean, you probably haven't, but Eternity. Did you guys watch Eternity? That movie that came out not too long ago.
Yeah.
Caleb
Yeah.
Turner. Okay,
Caleb-
The
Yeah,
boyfriend
Callum
that
Turner.
was
Yeah.
like-
Yeah, we're fans of him. Yeah, we're
so
fans of
Caleb
him.
Turner, that's my Cyclops. He's the guy
Are you
who's
sure?
he's 36, so we got him up until he's in his 50s. We're gonna be able to watch him kind of. He still has that look where he can be younger, you know, play younger, but he
Mhm.
also can play older too. I feel like he's in that middle stage, you know, of all that. So you have now Zachary Quinto, Professor X, kind of getting into it, and all of a sudden you start to see like Caleb Turner starting to like really start to believe in himself, start to like take on this like, oh, I'm going to be your quarterback. I'm going to lead this squad.
Yeah.
Episode 1. Episode
Bam.
2, dude.
Banger.
Boom. Episode 2, Jean Grey. Okay.
Okay.
Now listen, I know what you guys are. Everybody's like, Sadie, what's her name? Sadie Sink.
Sadie
Sadie
Sink.
Sink.
The whole
Sadie
Sadie
Sink.
Sink thing
Everybody's
going
like,
on.
Sadie, I'm like, please, I like.
Please don't.
So you are not on the
That's
Sadie
fine.
Sink.
It's fine. It's fine. I think she works. She's cute.
Young
but like
though.
when I
Young.
see
Young.
Sadie Singh as like, she's too young looking. She's just too young still looking. She's not. I mean, she's what 21, 22 maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
she just
Question.
looks too young. And if she's going to be a potential love interest for Caleb Turner, you need a little depth on it. And so I did go a little different on it. It's a wild one, right?
I'm ready for it, dude.
So have you guys seen I don't know if you guys saw it. You guys probably did. Did you guys watch Primate? The movie
No.
Primate?
No, the one that just came out. No
It
way.
just
I
came
The
have
one
not.
that came out, Crazy Monkey that gets raped.
Yeah.
It's basically a
Uh-uh.
modern day Cujo, but a
Yeah.
gorilla instead of a dog. So, okay, the main lead, the gal, her name is Johnny Sequoia. And she's not that old. She's only like 24, but she has a kind of a look to her that is like, oh, you could play like a more mature she doesn't look like she could play a 14-year-old. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking up now. Okay. Yeah. No.
So
Yeah.
I think she's my Jean Grey. She's like she's talented. She can play like scared pretty good. Like she does all that stuff. And the thing is like in this episode, it's the second episode of this TV series that's on Disney Plus. It gets released because it's all going to point to the movies. We're all going to point to the movies. But the series, all of a sudden, like Professor X gets hit with this telepathic like call for help. This girl that is frightened for her life. She's boom. It is not. And he's like, whoa. He's hanging with Scott. They're talking whatever. And all of a sudden it hits him like a Mack truck. And Zachary Quinto is like, we have to go find this person.
Right.
Like we got to go. So you go now. And the professor is called out now through the astral plane. He's going out. He's on Cerebro. He's like, yeah, we've got to find, and all of a sudden they come along and they find this struggling young lady in Jean Grey. Johnny Sequoia. What a name. I'm just saying, Johnny
Yeah,
Sequoia.
dope name.
I actually just looked her up and I was like, she's definitely like younger. Like you said, she's like, she's 23 years old.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
she has a look to her that's not
she,
like
she definitely has that older look.
yeah. She
Compared
doesn't
to
look like
Sadie
an old
Sink,
person, but
though.
she just
No,
looks
no.
like classic.
mature. Mature and
Yeah,
classic. Yeah,
mature.
classic,
Better than the fan cast I had.
Boy.
So we got 2 episodes down. Okay, we're talking now episode 3. There's only
I'm
6
loving this.
episodes.
I'm watching the show right
Okay.
now.
Episode 3,
There might be a red dot coming soon.
Wolverine.
The Wolverine.
Now,
Wolverine.
this
Okay.
one is a hard one, okay? Because this is going to take all of the therapy, counseling, assistance, homies, like just support system.
Right.
But you've got the team. It's Jean, it's Scott, and it's Professor X, and they encounter the Wolverine, and he's played by Shia LaBeouf.
What?
Shia, who
Wait,
struggles just as much with his rage that
Yeah, I did
Wolverine
not
does
see that
all the
coming.
time. Shia LaBeouf, who can't help himself.
Okay.
He has to get in fights. He has to go because he has
Just
this
do
animal
it.
inside of him. I'm just saying.
No, I'm gonna let
Do
you cook.
it!
Okay, you're cooking
Just
something.
do it.
Stanley Elnett.
Exactly.
Okay,
Shia
Wow.
LaBeouf is
I was not
Wolverine.
expecting
He's
that.
my Wolverine. And all of a sudden,
that
they
might be
get
the
into
hottest
this whole
take I've
thing.
heard with the Wolverine casting.
That's-
By the way,
It's a good one.
I don't.
I
like,
think
that's-
that matches his personality.
it
I think
does.
the
I
popular-
just didn't even.
The
I did
popular
not
one's
have him
been what?
initially there.
And
when
Taron
the person
Egerton?
I had there, it was like, okay, it's fine, but I don't know if I could follow this guy, if this guy could carry a movie for me. Shia LaBeouf can carry a movie for me.
He
Mhm.
could. He's a talented actor. A
Yeah.
lot of people just see like obviously his off-screen stuff, his off-screen
Matches
problems.
Wolverines.
Yeah,
Wolverine's like that.
it
Yeah.
is. Yeah, that's true. You're
He's gotta get
cooking
on that
right
now.
now.
Anyhow, it doesn't listen.
He's
I
got
mean,
to.
we got to just keep moving. So at the end, you do have this scuffle, this happening. Maybe he's literally like claws withdrawn, and he's about to just freaking rip Cyclops' head off, and Jean Grey stops him, and he's like, "What?" And he looks, and all of a sudden he's just like, "Oh shit, who's that?" And
Dude, I can
Wolverine
see it.
fully calms him down. But then he's like, well, screw you guys. I'm not a part of this. You guys are you guys are messing with minds. I'm out of here. Wolverine. So Wolverine is not a part of the team. It's just a splash. Then it brings us to episode 4. Episode 4 is, I still stand by it. It's Colossus.
Okay.
Colossus
Yeah.
comes on the scene. We have this thing. It's our first now international show. We're going out to Russia. There's some kind of conflict going out in Russia. But I don't have the details necessarily to tell you how to properly. There's a ton of filler here, but you have to have Wolverine also on the scene. He's in there again.
Okay.
Wolverine's there, and I think you can bring about Omega Red would be a villain. I don't know if you even do that. I don't know if you start to articulate some kind of different thing. There has to be a way to get Colossus into the team, and you bring that in, and in the midst of it, Wolverine sees this connection happen and sees what now Professor X is really doing and going like, okay, plus he gets to see Jean Grey again. And he's like, okay, well, maybe I do want to be a part of this. I don't know yet. It's still not a part of the team. So Colossus now is played by Alexander Ludwig. Alexander Ludwig was from Vikings. He also was like, he's big. He can get on. He can get stacked. Let's get some of them, let's get some of that, human growth hormone into him. Get some roided up on there. Get him nice and thick and juicy. But he's like got that towering presence. I actually met him at a Comic-Con years ago at an after party. The dude is massive. He's so tall. He's almost as tall as Max. It's crazy. And so my first initial one was Max for Colossus.
Yes. Honestly, let me tell you, he is the most underappreciated character to be brought into like live action so far that we've seen from the X-Men group, because there's so much lore on Colossus. He's
a legend. He's an artist.
Yeah.
The guy, he's gone through suffering. He's gone through all kinds of. But so the heart of the team is kind of that. The heart of the team is like Jean and Cyclops and even Colossus. But the Colossus is the part he's not just heart. He's also kind of soul of the X-Men. So as I'm like reading these early issues, he's just been introduced. He's only been around for so long. Like he cares more about his teammates than the battle, right? Like if the battle's happening, he's not going to keep fighting. He's going to make sure you're okay first and then keep fighting. Like he's just so he's like heart and soul. So then it brings you to episode 5, which I think you got the heart, which is Jean, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Colossus. Then you have the soul, which is like Wolverine and Colossus, and then you kind of round it out with Storm. You bring in Storm. And Storm, I think you need to have kind of an older girl comparatively to the rest. And so I was like, Teyana Taylor would be a fantastic Storm. You're like, oh shit, yes, ma'am, I will do whatever you say. That kind of mentality. So did you guys watch that One Fight After Another?
Yes.
So she
one battle
is
after
that,
another.
okay,
Yeah.
so one battle,
Mhm,
one
yeah.
fight after another. But yeah, so and then in this series, you actually have where Storm she's a known princess, and
Mhm.
in this world, I'd have it attached to, it's like a adjacent to Wakanda. So you
Yeah.
would have that Wakanda, you can have that kind of presence in it. And after Storm kind of comes into the team, then Wolverine's like, all right, I'm in. Like, I'm sold, because the soul is what catches him. The
Right.
heart is cool. That's just passion. The soul is like always there. And then you finish out the whole first season with episode
Yeah.
6, which would be the introduction of the Sentinels. And that's how I would introduce. So
Wow,
that's how
okay.
I would introduce X-Men. Now, I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I have a lot more here if you want me to keep unpacking.
I would actually love for you to keep unpacking. I do want to go into what you said, though, because I think there were some good points. You focused on the introduction of Professor X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who I did not realize Zachary Quinto could be such a great pick. Like,
Yeah.
all I'm seeing is him in a chair and his eyebrows. He has like dominating eyebrows.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm imagining Spock right now, like, because he has a very stern face too,
Mm-hmm.
where he's just like, he gets down to business. Basically, he's not here for like shits and giggles. You know what I'm saying? And I truly feel that's a great pick to start off. But then you also went into episode 1 being about Cyclops. Cyclops, it's so divisive right now, because what we've gotten in live action Cyclops is something that didn't live up to fan expectations, I would say, compared to the animated stuff we have received from X-Men, right? So Cyclops,
X-Men 97, boom, when he's blasting, coming down, he blasts. I mean,
to me, my X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, he is the true leader of the team. And he is such a dominating force. And like, I did some research about Cyclops, how, especially later on in the comics, he's such a great leader because he understands Professor X. He understands his values and stuff. But what people don't realize too is that he also understands where Magneto is coming from to an extent. He knows things need to be done in certain ways. And I didn't really know about that until I really did my research on it, but it makes him who he is. It makes him like everyone thinks, oh, the captain of like the Marvel team, it would be Captain America, right? But Cyclops had such a dominating force, especially in the comic books, where he is the leader of any team he approaches, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly feel like they need to focus
he has so
on
much
him.
Power, dude. He has so much power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, people don't realize like his beams too.
Mm-hmm.
Like talking about his power specifically, he grabs his beams from. They're just like, oh yeah, you have laser eyes. No, dude, his eyes are a portal to a different dimension.
Yeah.
That shoots out like radiation and beams, and it's untapped power, And so just having that power in him too is just ridiculous to me. But my main thing is going forward with the MCU, I think they really need to get an actor that knows, that like is demanding. A lot of people have said like Patrick Schwarzenegger. Obviously, it goes in the younger route too,
right?
But I know early stuff was the dude from Anyone But You. Glenn Powell, right? I just don't know
Zachary
if
Montgomery.
he would. Yeah, Zachary Montgomery. I just don't know if he would be a perfect fit. But when you just said, I believe you said
Caleb Turner.
Yeah,
I could definitely see that if they go in like a little bit older route, where it's not too old, where he could carry the series for no matter how long they go for.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's my main thing is they need to focus on Cyclops as the leader.
Yeah,
I think they obviously went in with Wolverine.
I've never seen Caleb Turner as like the lead. I've only seen him as like, and so, but I don't. The thing is, like, I don't think. I mean, why it worked out well for me is, one, I think he's a great actor, but I also like the fact that like he doesn't need to be the center of attention. Like he's never been the lead. And I think with the series, the TV series, and even the movie with the X-Men, there are the core things. I think you still have, like, Wolverine is the one that I think is he carries the torch. And that's been prevalent in the comics and the existing movies. And so I think you do need to have a powerful actor in that role. I don't know if you need a main, like a leading actor in the Cyclops role to play the leader, just because. But I do think, like, so when I watched Eternity, he played like a army veteran or whatever, right?
Yes.
That, like, and it was like well respected and well liked in this like Eternity world, right? And I could see, like, spoiler alert for all you Eternity fans out there, but I could see where like through the movie they could have gone where it's like just he is perfect, he is great, you know, and I could have believed it, you know, if it would have gone that way. And it's like, because he's just got more poise to him. So that's what really, like, kind of locked me in for the poise is what locked me in for him as Cyclops. But hey, you know what, Max? It's okay. You don't have to like him. You don't have to like him.
He's not a huge fan.
I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of him.
Is he the one that's dating Dua Lipa?
And I feel like he was wrong.
He's engaged to the woman of
that's
the woman I love. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah, so we're kind of beefing right now.
She left you for him,
for that guy.
Basically, well, I wouldn't say leave me for him, but you know, he just came in the right spot.
Max is
right
pretty
time,
much Miles Teller in this situation.
That's what's going on here. Basically, no, but I just really want. Obviously, we've gotten live action. We've got James Marsden as Cyclops, right? Which I think he did good. I just wanted more of him.
Yeah, I know I read something about how, you know, when X3 came on, he was in the middle of a different shoot and he wasn't able to, and that's why they like ended him so quick.
It was a Disney princess, or not the Disney princess, but it was
the Enchanted or whatever.
Enchanted, I believe. It was during that exact same time.
So they're like, oh, we'll just blah blah blah, and obviously Disney, I don't think would have done that. They would have been like, okay, well, let's work around. You know, I mean, let's change up the whole thing because we can't use him for King anymore. You know, like they're gonna figure out
exactly,
and then we'd be in the slop of it. But yeah, I mean, I think that he's capable. I think of it. But I also what I have written out here is 1, 2, 3 seasons and 1, 2, 3 movies.
Hire you.
There's going to be news tomorrow of all of these things.
I know. I wish it would happen.
We'll call Kevin Feige.
I'm like, hey, call me, dude. Hey, hit me up, dude. My DMs are open.
There you go.
I do like the layout you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that, I got it. But again, with Cyclops, there is not, I mean, spoiler alert. The second X-Men movie really is just a Wolverine solo movie. It's just it's Wolverine, you know?
Yeah. 100%.
So like, he is the real focal, and that, again, I think Shia LaBeouf would be so sick but
I think he would be insane in that role.
Like,
it's a reality that he lives in. I feel like
that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, dude, like he could play it and he doesn't even need to like, oh yeah, are you in character? Yeah, I'm always in character. Like well,
imagine, dude, if he just got so fit, like he would.
That Marvel diet.
100%.
Those Marvel trainers.
I mean, because Shia LaBeouf is only 39, right? Like, so he's like he's in prime time. So you'd have him get super ripped. Just, I mean, it basically be the same kind of footprint that Hugh Jackman just left us. You know, you're just doing that. You're just redoing that whole thing. And I believe he can carry it. But
no, I agree.
What do you think of
he's the only one that'll get his own way.
What have you seen the ones where they've brought up Taron Egerton as like the cast for Wolverine?
Well, I'll tell you who my second one was, but my backup was Daniel Radcliffe. I think Daniel Radcliffe
that'd be a good one too.
You know, a lot of people thought he was going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I thought so too. I was hoping.
Yeah, a lot of people thought he was going to be
Patch.
Patch, yeah. He could definitely get ripped for a role as well. We've seen it.
Dude, Daniel Radcliffe's only 5'5", and Wolverine technically is.
Comic accurate.
I'm reading these old comics, and I can't. They call Wolverine midget, all the time in the
Do they really?
Like,
no wonder he's so mad. Yeah, he's just pissed off. Yeah.
But it's like Cyclops is calling him that. I'm like, dude, Cyclops, chill out, man.
Yeah, this guy. Come on.
Well, yeah, he's after his girl, though, dude. That's
So I mean, come on, Max, hit me up. You got more, I know you do,
dude. I do. I just like my big thing is like just referring just to your characters. I did want to know. You said you have 3 seasons planned out. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The one question I want to know: do you think, because in the route you're going with, you're kind of going? I like the creative lore.
It's 4 seasons.
4 seasons. Okay.
4 seasons.
So when do we get Beast?
Seeded.
That's what I want to know. And is Beast even in season 1 through 4?
So what I've done in these, well, I guess the 4th season I didn't really expand upon, but it's set up for it. But what I've done is kind of create it so that you have each episode is about a primary person. But then there's a plenty of like sub characters. So you could have all these supporting roles. I think Beast is going to be a supporting role probably up until season 4. That
is okay.
It's because again, you got to think about this. It's 20 years. You're planning for 20 years.
Right.
So every year there is a season, and then the next year is the movie. And you can also probably do multiple seasons in a year and then the movie as well. You can do other spin-offs potentially. But I think you go so you're talking about a total of probably about 10 movies altogether that this is. And each one's going to do about $2 billion. So that's a lot of billions, it's a lot. But the shows are really what kind of carry it through all that. And so to me, Beast is more of a show character until the final movies, because then Beast is never a major character in my, and I'm so sorry, Max. I know that breaks your heart.
No, I personally, I've loved Beast from the animated, like from the OG animated series. I always thought he was like a hilarious character, but he's also like, a lot of people just think he's like, he has big feet, big hands, like you said, right? Or he's just like a furry,
he's
know what I'm saying?
Brains behind he's brilliant.
But he's also like strong, right? People don't realize like actually how strong of like his power set is kind of ridiculous. So that's a character I kind of do want to see. Obviously, we've seen like a CGI focused now with what's his face? I can't think of
Kelsey Grammer.
Kelsey Grammer. Yes, thank you, Cameron.
Yeah.
And that was when I saw that Beast. It was at the end credit scene for the Marvels. I saw that Beast and I was like, "Wow, that is perfect." You know?
Sick.
It looked really good.
And I was like, "Wow, this is the most." I don't like. I know, obviously, like I think I got more excited about that than I did. This is gonna sound crazy because I'm a huge Cyclops fan. But then when we got Cyclops in his full costume, finally, right? His comic accurate costume, and I think I was more excited for Beast because I'm like, dude, they have the potential. Disney and the MCU are cooking something up where I'm like, they're showing glimpses of what could be, And totally. I'm really, really excited about that. But I did want to ask you, since we talked about like old movies as well, and before we get into the future stuff, which of the old Fox movies, and you could include the First Class franchise, I just want to know what is like your top like 1 or 2 movies.
X2 is probably one of my top ones. X-Men Days of Future Past is the second, probably.
Yeah.
Both of those directed by Bryan Singer. I think he nailed it on. X-Men was awesome, but X2 was like, getting to see Wolverine unload like in X2, where you're like, yes. I mean, it wasn't violent, it wasn't Logan style, it wasn't Deadpool and Wolverine yet. But like it was just like first taste of like he just drove his freaking claws into that.
Well,
dude.
it also showed his like mental struggle. Like they did a little bit of in X1, obviously, like he didn't know who he was really. But then in X2 it was like a focus, like he really doesn't know what happened to him prior. And so they showed Stryker obviously in X2, and I thought that was a great introduction. And I love that connection they had because he saw him as like, hey, you're like, I got you, no matter what. And I like that dynamic because at first you're like, do I hate Stryker, but does Wolverine hate him or does he like him? Like I couldn't tell, and until obviously later on in the movie. But I thought just seeing his past was really, really great. Just it showed the mental struggle of Wolverine, and we didn't get that unless you like even in the animated series, I believe we didn't really get like a a flashback and stuff. So it's like that was a lot of people's first introduction to his whole backstory line.
Back Marvel Comics Presents, Barry and Windsor Smith drew it. It's fantastic, and that's just like the Weapon X, like that Weapon X program. Him getting his adamantium, all that fun stuff. And the other, if I had to do my top 3, it probably goes my X2, then it goes to, like, if I'm sitting here and it's like, okay, the next 3 days I have to watch one X-Men movie each day. What am I doing? Today I'm going to watch X2. Tomorrow I'm going to watch Days of Future Past. And then the last day I'm watching Logan. Because Logan was just great. Logan was fantastic. It was
fantastic.
It's just kind of a little bit of a nod to the Mark Miller, Steve McNiven, Old Man Logan kind of run, where you just see an aged Wolverine, how he's doing. You see Professor X kind of like having a tough time losing, see what's happening there. It's just kind of fun.
Yeah, and I believe in that like I believe in the Logan universe, like I think Professor X had like a stroke, and is that what killed the rest of the X-Men or something like that?
His brain, in a sense, was just kind of rotting away, and so because of that, he couldn't control it anymore. So you have these crazy flare-ups.
Yeah, that was intense. It obviously showed really dark Logan story, and it was great.
And it was bloody and violent, which is
insane. Rated R, yeah. First rated R X-Men project we've received. Yeah, phenomenal. But fun fact about X-Men Days of Future Past, you guys should know this, but it's crazy because they focused on obviously Wolverine, but they focused on Kitty Pryde, right? They focused on her, having the powers to like send him back and stuff. But they actually filmed a whole bunch of stuff with Rogue.
The Rogue cut,
yeah, the Rogue cut being in there. There's scenes of it. There's all stuff. Brent, to you, would you have liked to see like Rogue, like be that character?
I've always been a fan of Anna Paquin. I think she's a cutie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever watched True Blood, but like the vampire,
exactly.
And so I actually enjoyed her as Rogue. I thought it was fun. I didn't know there was the Rogue cut.
You gotta look it up, dude.
Is there like, do they have it? Can you actually watch it?
It's an actual. I thought it was. Don't they have an actual, like, if you buy the DVD?
I think they show like the footage they have of it.
Deleted scenes.
Yeah, the deleted scenes. And
I'll have to check it out because I know I have it.
Yeah, I think you can find it like on YouTube and stuff, or I'll send you a link after this. But
yeah, I would.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I always like this stuff because studios are making like they're trying to hit a time frame. They're doing all that stuff. So sometimes stuff that's like, dude, like even the director is hurt because they had to let go of that scene. I love freaking Justice League. The Snyder cut is dope.
Great.
It's
phenomenal.
long, but it's like makes it so much more digestible than it was without it. Without it, you're just like, that was cool.
It gives you like more emotional depth to every single character, and it was amazing.
And that's what that again too, though, is like, that's why I think when you're going to map out the X-Men, you have to do it in a long, think about it. Like that first MCU, that was like the Infinity Gauntlet series. Like that was Thanos finding the Infinity Stones, finding all that, doing that whole thing. Like, and that was how many years was that? Like 10 plus years of storytelling. 15. So it's like that is a huge long game play. And so I think you do have a huge long game play here. And I think at the end, it really can lead to this. How I would do it is you probably have, I don't know, I guess the end baddie at the very, as you're playing the long game, it could be Apocalypse. I think it would be fun, but I don't have any of that mapped out. I just have I'm talking like the first like 6 years. I'm talking.
Well, I like it because you said it's like a Disney Plus series, and I think that would be a smart move.
I think you do series combo it with movies.
I think there's a lot. Like I think the X-Men IP is big enough to do that for sure, and like they have a lot to like tell. I know it'll connect the fans that just watch the MCU TV shows. It'll kind of make them watch it, I feel like. So I think that would be a really good play. Cameron and Austin, before we move on to our next thing, I just wanted to ask you guys, what is your favorite X-Men movies that you guys have watched? Like live action.
Cameron, you go first.
Yeah, I'll go first. It's hard. Like I almost entirely in agreement with Brant. X2 is amazing. I love Days of Future Past so much. I just love the emotional aspect to it, especially at the ending with like the final battle. As a kid, obviously now that I'm older and I can actually like watch a movie and analyze it, I did like Wolverine Origins.
Okay.
Now it's a little different, but I really love the Wolverine. You know, when he goes to Tokyo, I love that whole story. That was a great movie.
Mm-hmm. Had a really great post-credit scene or the ending scene where he opens
the briefcase
suitcase.
And it's his suit. Yep.
And it's his OG suit.
Yep. I thought that was a great movie.
And then
I used to listen to that. So we had a house, our house we used to live in had this dope theater room, and that opening scene for the Wolverine where that bomb goes off, and that was like on a dope sound system. That scene was just like
he threw the dude down the tunnel.
It's just like, and then it's like him, like, and then it's quiet. It's like, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
How about you, Austin?
I'm a big Days of Future Past fan. I do love X2 a lot as well. But if we're referencing like Logan's probably one of my favorite movies to watch. It's just like you said, it's so much fun. And it's like, I mean, it's so dark and like sad. Like you get all this emotion that's built up with Logan and seeing where they're at now in this day and age. It's definitely up there for sure. But I would probably go with Days of Future Past if we're focusing solely on like the X-Men movies.
Well, I'm surprised like none of you guys like mentioned X3, dude. Luna, what are you doing?
Hey, Luna.
You're a big X3 guy?
Let me tell you something, okay? We're talking about X-Men and stuff. Yeah, hear me out. Hear me out. The storyline, obviously they did the Dark Phoenix storyline, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Did they?
They've done a couple.
X3?
Yeah, they did a little bit, you know.
They darkened her eyes a little bit.
I mean, let me tell you,
made her a little mean.
Famke Jensen, right? Famke Jensen, like,
gosh, what a
come
cutie.
on, dude, I love her. You know, like, come on, dog. Like her being great. You know, 100% any day of the week. But the cool thing about that movie, what I liked about it so much, and I think what carried on, because I just rewatched the trilogy, but the use of their powers in that movie was really, really cool, right? I think that's what was missing. Like, we got very Wolverine focused throughout the first two movies. Obviously, he's still the main character of this one, right? But we got to see like the powers and abilities of other mutants. You know, even like the rogue ones that Magneto had on his team, right? You saw like the Porcupine dude was super cool. They had Multiply Man or Mr. Multiply. What was his name?
Yeah, Multiple Man. Yeah,
Multiple Man played by by the late
Eric Dane.
Is it Eric?
Yeah, Eric Dane. Yeah, and so that was cool. My thing was we got the first full Iceman out, like Bobby Drake, you know, and he was going against Pyro, and he just, I mean, it was for 2 seconds. Okay, he literally like. He was like losing. He was on like one knee, and then out of nowhere, he just turned full ice mode and like headbutted the dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was badass. And I still remember that watching that movie in theaters, and I'm like, that was my favorite scene in that movie. I mean, that must say a lot about the movie, but
yeah,
dude, that scene was so freaking dope, dude. I was like, wow, you know. And then it kind of built me into like, let me look into the Iceman lore and all this stuff, and realize, you know, he does develop into like an Omega level mutant, and he's like, obviously, I think they need to. He's like my big person I want in the MCU. Yeah. I don't know, like, there's a lot of fan cast for him right now, but like, I just want to see him back. We got him in Days of Future Past as well, and he was full Iceman mode, and I was like, dude, he was just like surfing around, and I'm like, dude, this is dope. You know, like, this is so sick. I loved it. That's what kind of brought me into the X-Men, is just the use of their powers. They're so different. Each X-Men has a different power. It's not like, oh yeah, they're all super strong. Or, you know, it's like, no, dude, they like Colossus, dude. This dude is just a tank, but he has so much more than just that, dude. Like, his survivability rate is ridiculous. Like,
so hyped when in X2 when you got to see Colossus for the first time, and you're like, hell yes.
And then,
then you're like,
stood there and just
I thought they would just, and they didn't do, and you're like, okay.
No, they started Fastball Special.
Right.
I do like how they have, I mean, I do like his use in the Deadpool movies. Like, I like how Colossus has been used kind of in the Deadpool movies. I mean, obviously those movies are a little more goofy, right? A little more
a little
like,
comedy heavy on him.
So it's like, he's got the thick accent. Do you like, you know, like,
so that was good.
That was
good, dude.
I got to start working out. I might just play Colossus.
Honestly.
There you go.
Good, dude.
I'm very good. It sounds more like Borat.
I don't know if it was Borat or not. It worked for the first part. No, but I like what you said earlier about Colossus, and I think they did do that in Deadpool, where he cared about his team a lot. And in Deadpool, he did care about his team at the end of the day, right? His team was very first and foremost like his main purpose. So I like how you included that, because I wouldn't even think about putting him in there, but I don't know, maybe like cool season 2, season
Also,
3, they
I
do
mean,
a little fastball special, dog. Just
when I
throw
came on
Wolverine
the
around.
scene reading comics as a kid, it was, this was Mark Silvestri era of X-Men. That, I mean, they'd just gone through the Outback, which is like the Australian Outback. They had just gone through all this whole gamut. And in X-Men 250, Colossus was in that comic. And like he was just a gangster. And it was like, whoa. I mean, he didn't do anything fabulous in that comic so then I got classic X-Men 39, and it's Wolverine fighting the Hellfire Club. It's badass.
Yes.
But in the back, Jim Lee does a little short story, and it includes Storm, Wolverine, and Colossus. And Colossus, like, full on, they fight this dude, and Colossus, like, rips a tree out of the ground and smacks the dude with it. And you're like, hell, this guy's... So I, like, instantly fell in love with Wolverine and Colossus, and I was like, those two are my guys. So, I mean, my whole layout is based on my experience with the X-Men and growing up with them, in the 90s and even a little bit of the early 2000s. But I think there's so much story to tell and all that stuff.
Well, yeah, I loved it because it's different, right?
Yeah.
It's not something like where it's something that we need to like regurgitate a lot, or like we're gonna just basically grab those movies, and it's something fresh. A really cool thing too, like episode 3, you said about Wolverine, and you said he was just going to be, it's just going to be a little part in it or whatever, he's just going to be in that episode. He's going to be something to the team. What's cool is I think you could make a whole Disney like special presentation, like what they do with like a lot of the shows right now. You could do a special presentation on Wolverine. Have like 3 seasons of just either one season where it's like each episode's a different era, which would be pretty cool. I've seen some people throw that around in podcasts and stuff that I've watched. I'm like, dude, that would be a crazy idea. Because, like, there's a lot of Wolverine lore. Obviously, we got a lot of it already. But I think if they dive down into it, I think that would be pretty sick.
I think that's one thing I think is that Disney should be utilizing for the X-Men especially. Because, I mean, Fantastic Four, there's 4 of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Avengers, I think I could do a whole Disney Plus show on the Avengers. And it just kind of goes around, like there's so many, but I think the X-Men is like it almost is primed up to like introduce you to characters a bunch, because there's so many mutants out there.
Right.
But yeah, so like the first X-Men movie then would just be X-Men, right? And the movie would central about, I think that's when you have the Sentinels. And now it's just this big thing about, because the season finale would be like kind of an introduction of the Sentinels. Like they're getting built, and you're like, oh crap, what's happening? Then you have, this massive battle now, but in the midst of it, you introduce Magneto. Magneto comes in, and he's not a villain. He's not a hero. He's just a mutant. And I would have him. This is a guy who I think it could be. I mean, I'm excited. He's going to be in this next season of Invincible. He's already been in the, Marvel universe, but like Thanos and Cable were the same person, So,
I know who you're talking about. Yeah, I already know.
Who am I saying? Max, tell it. We saw him live, dude.
He's gonna play. He's gonna play he's gonna play it's the dude that played in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Yeah, he's gonna play Thrag.
Lee Pace.
Yeah, Lee Pace, exactly.
Lee Pace. He's got that deep voice. He's got that kind of thing. So I think you have it where he's fighting alongside the X-Men against the Sentinels.
I didn't even think he could. Yeah. Wow.
So he's with the X-Men fighting, and the whole movie is him. He comes in as a hero, and in the midst of it, they conquer, they beat the Sentinels, and he kind of like sees that, I don't see things the same way you do,
right,
Charles Xavier, and you had said it earlier, but Max, where it's like all of a sudden you could have this kind of like this like inner battle with Cyclops on, do I go? Do I stay? Like, because, Magneto's trying to really resolve like, hey, like, the humans are effed up. Like, we need to fix this.
Definitely could see that, like, being a main plot of the movie, you know?
And
like,
so then at the end, now all of a sudden he's like, I'm like, dust settles, he's gone, but in the midst of that, he's like, I'm going to form an army. Like, you guys are effed. And he steals Cerebro. Cerebro is like the mutant scanner that finds where all the scanners are. Because in the midst of it, you got to think he's like, Colossus, bloom. He just like, here, you're not doing anything. You made of metal, bro. You're not going anywhere, Colossus. And in the midst of that, from that technology of Cerebro is how he, I think, because in the whole thing, he's just a normal looking dude. At the end, the last kind of thing that leaves you hanging is like, he's built a suit and he's built this helmet that protects him from Charles Xavier.
Right.
And it's like, but at the same time, that maybe that same helmet is Cerebro, and that's what's actually communicating him to find mutants.
That would be pretty freaking cool.
So he turns Charles's little toy into his own device, but also protects him from Charles. So I don't know. That's how I would do it. So now that leads you into season 2. You know what I'm saying? So like, you would be hyped, bro.
I think we need this. We need this right now.
Okay, so
something
now
where I'm like, dude, you got to pitch your idea to.
Okay, so here it is. Season 2. Okay. X-Men, New Mutants. Okay, New Mutants was okay.
Yeah.
So now, first episode. Again, it's only 6 episodes because we don't want Disney to. We want them to pour all their money into these 6 episodes. Not like covering too many. You know, let's just get a good chunk. First episode, episode 1 is there's a new mutant that wants to join the team. You know, can she handle the truth of what that is? And it's Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
And I know
this let's go.
For her, I already know, Max. This is where like
it's where we connect.
Like, well, I'm just right now we're courting, But McKenna Grace, McKenna Grace?
Yeah.
I don't.
She's in some rom-com that's recent, but
with Mason,
the big one that she was on the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I know.
Yeah, with Mason
you're courting her, dude. You should know who she is.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Huh. I know you're talking. Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah. She was brown haired in Ghostbusters. She has blonde hair currently. Yeah. I know you're talking about. Okay.
The reality is she's actually only 19 years old in real life. She does look young. She does. Yeah. But Kitty Pryde is a young girl. And so she comes in so it's now, you've got the X-Men who are Cyclops, Wolverine, Jean Grey, Colossus, Storm, but now you're really focused on the school aspect of it in a way where it's like you kind of take it to the campus, take it home, take it back to their HQ in a sense. Right. And so like none of them, Wolverine, Jean Grey, none of them are really students by any means, but you bring in this young Kitty Pryde and it's like, okay, well, our job is to really mentor her. So it's not about getting a high school education. It's more about getting a combat education for what's the reality of their world, especially post Sentinel chaos, post Magneto bouncing. And again, in the midst of that, who knows what other X-Men pop into the scene? Like mutants kind of pop up. And have
little
these
cameos and stuff.
I think you have to have plenty of those throughout each season in the movies.
There's so many of them,
But you also need to start to think about bringing in the rest of the MCU into this space.
Yeah.
So okay, let's cook. Okay, dude.
So
here we go.
With that though, the MCU.
This is one of the questions I was going to ask you. Actually, I was going to say how are they going to bring the MCU to the X-Men right now?
I think it only is realistically in it as again, like the same way you'd use Beast, the same way you'd use Iceman, would be the same way you use Doctor Strange, because it's not like, hey, what? Like maybe there is during this big battle in the movie with the Sentinels and all that stuff, it draws attention to maybe you have, maybe Mr. Fantastic comes along the scene. And all of a sudden, because one of the things I think you need to start really building is the Illuminati in the MCU.
Yeah.
You need to build an Illuminati, which we saw in Doctor Strange.
Multiverse of Madness. Yeah.
And that's cool, but let's actually because again, that I think that the Illuminati should be a series, a Disney Plus series.
Right.
That has Zachary
Yes.
Quinto in it. It has, it has it has Pedro Pascal or
Dude,
whoever
you're
is going to be
cooking right
playing these
now,
roles.
dog. Okay.
So now in the midst of that, we're talking though that the X-Men shows, again, everything is so like low key. They're not trying to be exposed. They're not like going out and saying to the world, like, we're mutants. Like, no. Like, we don't want anybody to know that we're mutants. Like, I don't want you to know I'm a mutant. I don't want you to share that. And so that also is where you bring in like people like Doctor Strange to kind of keep it hidden, keep them protected, keep them kind of low key. But it'll hit when you get to the next movie. Well, sorry, the third movie, I guess.
Okay, so I do have a question then for you. Since you're talking about mutants, you're talking about like potentially leading up with the MCU, potentially leading up with some of the Avengers, right? Which I was gonna say, which mutant do you think would have the most interesting dynamic with like the Avengers? Like, which mutant do you think is going to be the one connecting?
Well, with the Avengers as a whole, I think you're going to have a lot of interaction. I think Cyclops will have interaction with it just as a leader, like saying like, hey, we're going on this, like we're doing whatever. He also brings out a lot of assistance and power. I think Professor X is the biggest one. You'll have that. He's, again, like when you're talking about NFL teams, you're talking really like the X-Men are like the Lions and the freaking Avengers are like the 49ers, And so the X-Men are always whooping
after they got blipped or something, maybe.
Yeah.
After they got blipped.
So I actually think this is what I think would be fun is a Kitty Pryde dynamic with Spider-Man. But again, that's down the line, as you blend these two. But I think it's like it would have to be later on as Kitty Pryde has grown up a little bit. Right now, no. She's going to fall in love. She's going to be googly over Colossus because he's such a big hunk. She's going to be getting
which
mentored.
They are in the comics, right? Yeah.
And then she's going to be getting mentored, by Shia LaBeouf. So she might be, but she's going to like get raged out, But she's not going to look to him like I love him, but she's going to look to him as a mentor rather than a. Okay, so you have this episode 2 of season 2, The New Mutants, is the introduction of Bishop. So Bishop comes on the scene. All of a sudden, you're like, "What the fuck is this?" It's a mutant from the future, and they're like,
"What is time travel?"
Nobody knows what's going on in that. You don't even know he's from the future in that episode. You just know that he is investigating a threat and he is causing a scene. And so they're like, they don't know him. So there's this kind of chaos. I have casted Bishop because again, we'll get into it in a little bit here. Episodes 4 and 5 is the Days of Future Past. So we're going to do that in the television series. But it's not going to be the same as the comics. It's not the same as the movies. It's going to be more focused on this future that Bishop is coming from. So Bishop is going to be younger. He's only 24. He's young, but he's like been hardened by everything. And actually I put him only because I don't believe they're going to figure out something with Sony in order to cast him as Miles Morales. So I put Caleb McLaughlin as it. I think you could have him where he is young but weathered. You could kind of put like some scars on him to make it look like he's been through battle, but he's a young dude.
Right.
And they sent back their most like peak, like young
dude. Wait
he's
a
going to
minute.
be like into the past to save the future, and he's that guy. And so
he could be like more of a main role like that way with Caleb, so that actually makes sense. Holy crap.
So he then is going to be that. So
this thought about this.
It's kind of fun.
Dude.
So now he comes on the scene. Episode 3 is Cable. You bring Cable. So Cable, which is Jean Grey and Cyclops' son from the future. It is, let's see here.
Well, the clone of Jean Grey, right? It's, what's her face?
It's
Madeline Pryor.
Madeline
Pryor and Cyclops' kid from the future. And this one is hype. And I actually was like, hell yeah. But it's Alan Richson. That guy is so yoked.
Yeah.
He could be. Yeah,
we have fan casted him so many times. Yeah,
he could be Cable, dude.
Yep.
The thing that would be in this episode, though, is Cable's coming back to kill Bishop. And they both are coming from the future trying to do the same thing, but they're doing it from opposing sides. So it's like, you know, Republicans and Democrats coming back to the past to kill each other.
Oh my gosh.
You know, they want America to be great, but each of them are so extreme on the other side, opposing side, where I guess, so getting back to it, like Bishop would be the more like sophisticated, like coming from where, like coming from privilege in a way, where Cable would be coming back from poverty. Cable would be coming back from so he's more yoked, he's more rage, he's more crazed out, and Bishop is a little more refined, but also like the best of the best for that time. So you have this cool epic battle, and then they come to find out, wait, we're actually both fighting for the same thing.
Right.
And that brings us to episodes 4 and 5 of season 2, which is the Days of Future Past, which you go back into now. You settle things in the present, going into the future, kind of doing some stuff, coming back and playing around in both time. So it's kind of a sick thing. Season finale now is this new team. You have this new team where I think you would have it where Caleb kind of continues to go on, and Bishop stays. And now Bishop stays, but in the midst of that, Wolverine's like, hey, I got to go figure out all my mystery past. Right. I have to figure out what's going on of it. Because you can have all these, I think throughout all this stuff, there's all these other sub stories that are going on with all of the characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, so now Wolverine, and that leads you to the next movie, which is just it's just Wolverine. And that's him doing his own solo story. So that whole solo movie, I don't know what I don't really know what is included in all that stuff, but I do know what the next season is. The next season, I mean, if you guys are ready for season 3,
I'm ready for. I'm writing all this down.
It's called Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Now you have Lee Pace, Magneto going out, and his whole thing is his venturing out with Cerebro, going out into the world and trying to find the cream of the crop that will be on his side to kind of like, hey, we have to dominate, we have to take over, otherwise we will go extinct. And so in that first episode, you're really seeing Magneto kind of going, and you're getting to see the rawness of Magneto, where he's actually going through and you see him fall into the depths of supervillainy. So in other words, he comes alongside some mutants maybe, and is like, these guys aren't qualified, and kills them, right? That kind of stuff. You see that he's just like, he's in it. He's going to be this villain.
Right.
Episode 2, all of a sudden, you know, you bring about Mystique, and Mystique comes into the picture. She's a shapeshifter, and all of a sudden now you see that like Mystique is like, Magneto sees how he can use her, you know, like, oh, I can use you. And she's there, and she's really pretty much in love with Magneto. She loves him. She's so she wants to do with that. So Mystique, oh gosh, this one is a wild one. I have to
I actually want to see who you have as a Mystique.
I don't know if you'll like
this is important.
So there is a TV show out that's called I don't know if you guys have seen it all. I've actually only watched a couple episodes, but I just like this gal's cutie, and she's fun. I really enjoyed her, and she was in Saturday Night, which is like the story of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Her name is Rachel Sennott. I think that's how you say her last name, Sennott. So just look her up real quick. You'll see what she looks like, get a vibe for her. She's a good actress, but it's like, she's not like, she's a shapeshifter. She also is just like she's just in love with a powerful man, you know, in Lee Pace. So she's
in that I Love LA show too.
Yeah.
That just okay. Wow.
Okay.
All
right. So now we're in this. Okay. So
You're
now
cooking right now.
Kind of go through, and she's in, right? The next thing you go to and I don't know how this one pans out, but I think it'd be a dope one to kind of explore and kind of get fun in. But I think this is a very violent, bloody episode. And this is just like not Wolverine. This is just Magneto, just kind of observing this person at the end, being like, hey, you know, it's like the whole thing, you're following along this individual, and it's Sabretooth. So you're following Sabretooth. He's just gritty.
You're legit building.
Crazy. And at the end, You wouldn't even really know, but at the end of watching this whole episode, like 40 minutes of Sabretooth killing people, being ruthless, being crazy, like being also like kind of like just like a very like you can count on him to do the dirty work kind of dude. And Magneto comes upon him and is like, hey, like boom. And so that ending, I do think like just like the old Marvel movies, after every episode, there is a little bloop kind of little extra bonus scene, you know, and I think, you know, you kind of make that super fun. Sabretooth, I have, and, you know, you guys probably saw him in Suicide Squad. He is Jai Courtney.
Yeah, okay.
You know who that guy is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he played Boomerang.
Yeah.
So I think you get him, he gets buff, he gets kind of yoked out, and now you're going to have, you know...
He's like a burly dude kind of already, so that kind of works.
Yeah.
And so you think about him fighting Shia LaBeouf, you know, like that's where
that'd
I go to. I'm like, that'd be kind of fun. Especially, he would have to be a little beefier than Shia LaBeouf, you know? I think Shia would have to get, like... He'd have to be fit, but more lean, you know, like think of how Hugh Jackman has done it, where he's yoked, but he's not like Alan Richson yoked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Guy Courtney has the build to be that more Alan Richson or whatever. What's his name?
Richson. Yeah.
Like that huge yoke. Like I think he can lean more towards that. And I think that would be a awesome comparison. Okay, so now we go to episode 4 of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, and it is Rogue. It's the Rogue episode. And really all it is...
You think Rogue's going to be with the brother? Okay, wait. You're going to introduce her with
villain. She's a villain, dog.
Okay, I did not expect that.
Of course, if you're not casting Margaret Qualley as Rogue, then you're out of your mind. She is Rogue. She is
100%.
super cute. And so what happens, you have Mystique come alongside and all of a sudden just have a massive influence on Rogue, and really watching her take her under her wing, doing all this stuff. And then you have this really fun kind of criminal like romp where these two just go around like robbing banks, causing chaos, doing almost like a Harley Quinn-ish kind of chaotic episode. But it's really those two becoming super tight, and now Rogue coming into the fold. The one that I'm excited for the most is episode 5. And episode 5 is Mastermind. Now, Mastermind is a manipulator of reality. Like, he is the one that in the Dark Phoenix saga gets Jean Grey to tap into her dark side and become the Dark Phoenix, right? Like in the comic books, he is like a master manipulator. His power is to control what people perceive and think it's different, you know, and so people's realities. And I would cast Bill Skarsgård as that. I think Mastermind is in reality this kind of weaselly looking dude, which I think Bill Skarsgård could do. Think Nosferatu Bill Skarsgård in a way.
Yeah.
But then when he controls your mind, he's this handsome, good looking, like elegant man, you know? And so Mastermind comes into the play as this manipulator. And that is what kind of leads us to our episode 6, which is really just the master plan of like, how is Magneto going to be going about this? How is he taking all these people he's orchestrated together, which leads us to the movie, which is X-Men Fall of the Mutants.
Yeah.
So X-Men Fall of the Mutants is a movie where you are going to have all of this kind of orchestrating these little strategic things that happen in the world and all this stuff, which is really influenced by Magneto and these people. And now the X-Men have to fight. And in the end, though, you do have this horrific, some kind of traumatic thing. And in that traumatic thing, it really is where Mastermind actually is orchestrating this whole thing throughout that movie as a subplot, like to kind of really pull away and identify the most powerful in the team of the mutants and all that kind of stuff. I think you do have to have a loss. You do have to have a tragedy. And at the end, it really leads to the next season. You do have a cliffhanger. I don't know what it is. I didn't go... Listen, I wish I would have gone super deeper, but I didn't.
I'm like invested right now, dude. I'm like, no way you just left me. Yeah, like there's no way you left me right there, dog. Like,
what I'm saying is it leads to season 4, and in season 4 is the Dark Phoenix saga.
Okay.
And season 4 is again, and now this season is dark. This season is more lost. This season is more heavy. This season is more, because you're watching Phoenix, and at the end of Dark Phoenix Saga, Jean Grey, the Phoenix, is done. She's dead.
Yeah,
so that is kind of, so I haven't really figured out what kind of darkness leads at the end. But again,
I would watch this. If this was like a 4-year show, maybe 6 years, including the movies, I would watch this, dude. We need to pitch this. Maybe
I'm just saying, like, I think that you go, okay, right? Like, let's just pretend 2026, you have the 6 episodes launch. Whoa, shit. 27, the movie comes out.
Right.
28, the next season comes out. 29, the Wolverine movie.
Right.
2030, the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. 31, the Fall of the Mutants movie. 32, that's the Dark Phoenix Saga. And in the midst of that, though, so the Dark Phoenix Saga, that and even in the Fall of the Mutants is when you actually have to bring in the rest of the MCU, because it's like, it's bigger, like Magneto putting his forces together. It's like it's bigger than what has happened. And in the midst of that, now you see Magneto becoming this pillar villain alongside Doom, alongside, so just like you have the Illuminati, you have the Cabal, you have the evil, massive brains. And so what you're doing is building this massive library of sub characters, but these pillars of heroes and villains that really, like right now, it's not just Iron Man and Thanos, like it's like you got Professor X, but now you all of a sudden have this Wolverine pillar, because underneath that Wolverine umbrella, you have Sabretooth and what other villains come alongside in that world.
More
so
emotional,
really
more emotional attachment,
right,
to the whole.
And then you can also
franchise,
do like some other stuff where it's like, hey, where's Punisher coming in? Hey, where is where are these other tiered, like, where's Thunderbolts fit into this? Where does because it will.
It has
but
to,
again, like, the nice part about it is that the X-Men are low key under the radar, and so
I think leading up to, I think currently where we're headed with the MCU, we're gonna obviously in Doomsday, it's heavily rumored, it's most likely gonna be like they're gonna rip off the X-Men versus Avengers thing, right? That's what it's looking like. But I do think that actually has a long-lasting effect into the future MCU.
Right. Yeah.
I feel like where the MCU fits in is where it is, the X-Men are just going to be this other force, right? Like you said, they're so huge. When Magneto's building this team, people are going to know about it, right? The MCU people are going to know about it. The Avengers are going to know about it. The Thunderbolts will know about it, right? Like different teams. And so I do think that's actually I think that's a real good possibility. I think that would actually make the most sense. So right now, like just from what you said, it's weird, but it connects everything. And I think it has the potential to connect with the MCU. And so that's actually crazy, dude. I would buy this. I would invest in this, dude. Maybe at D23 we can kind of bring it up, dude.
I
don't know, dog.
My hope with anything Marvel, honestly, they did a phenomenal job with the first, was it just phase? What phases was that?
The Infinity Saga, the whole
Infinity Saga was just fantastic.
So,
but it was played out. I mean, you had very beginnings of Iron Man, where Samuel L. Jackson pops in at the very end, and you're like, what? Oh, there's more to this than just this, And they started planting Easter eggs, and I think that's what we need to get back to. This
we're missing that
story that covers massive, and then work your way back to how are you actually, leaking any kind of fun nuggets, Easter eggs for the fans.
It is,
But man, I think there's so much quality. Like, I think what you do, because X-Men 97 has done it fantastic. They've used, in that first season they did, there was, you had
you got Storm losing her powers, right? You had the introduction of Madeline Pryor, or I guess the whole thing. Yeah, she's Madeline Pryor the whole time.
I'm trying to think of that. Inferno. You had the Inferno whole series.
Yeah, then you know
what I mean, like you had all these little nuggets that were so great, that were just little blips from stories that have been pulled over the years.
Right.
And I think it's
the
like
video game episode.
So fun. Mojo, yeah, the
Mojo,
yeah, the Mojo
Dude,
episode was insane.
all these things are all old comic books, right? And so it's like you have the stories, but what they did is they kind of took all these stories and made a story about all. And I think that's what you need to do in the movies. Just do the same thing, but give it a little bit of a twist so that it actually can build over the next 10 plus years, so that we can enjoy an era of mutants, dude. And I think it's coming. My hope is it's coming in a thought out, methodical way.
Right. I think so. I think Kevin Feige, he's very serious. He said, hey guys, we're ready. This is what we're going to be focusing on after Doomsday or after Secret Wars. And so just him saying that and him like affirming it to the audience and to everyone. And like I said, he cares about the X-Men a lot. So I do think it is going to be a strategic, like, I don't think it's just going to be like, oh yeah, let's introduce all these characters in one movie. You know, I think it is going to play out. Like I said, I think you have a really good timeline of how it should be. And like a really like good pace of it too. It kind of like you said too, it like it mentions like everyone has their own story, which that's what Phase 1 did really well, right? We had the Iron Man, but then at the end of Iron Man, like you said, we had Samuel Jackson. We had the Incredible Hulk. At the end of Incredible Hulk, we had Robert Downey Jr., right? You know, in Thor, obviously we have we got introduced to Hawkeye in Thor, you know, like, and then we also got in Captain America, you know, that whole thing, there was people popping up in there the whole time, right? The end of it was like, oh yeah, this is what happens when he comes back, you know? So it's like we were attached, but it was their own movie. It was their own solo project. They focused heavily on the characters and then slowly introduced everyone else, slowly introduced the big picture. So I do want to see the route which they would go, and hopefully it is similar to what you have.
Well, and I think that's why it has to be a subtle route, because you're business-wise, they just like they have the rights now, so they can do whatever. Now it's your characters, right? So being true to that, like the overarching thing, it's like, well, where were they during
this event?
Snap, bro? Right, where were they during that? You know, where were they? And like, you could play into all that stuff too. I mean, I think they kind of tried to do it a little bit with Eternals, and Eternals just kind of was just
we feel I like, you know what, I'm a big fan of Eternals. I think it was I think it's one of the best looking Marvel movies or like MCU movies, especially post Endgame.
Just because Angelina Jolie, is that, be honest?
No.
Dude, I love Angelina Jolie.
It's like it's a Game of Thrones reunion.
And then she also had superhero dementia, dude. Come on, dog.
Well, like, I mean, did you ever watch Gone in 60 Seconds?
Of course, dude.
Oh my gosh, dude.
She was the best. I would have stole no matter whatever car she wanted me to steal.
Which one would you like me to steal? Angelina? Would you call her Angel or would you call her Lena? What would you call her short name?
Miss Jolie. I don't know. That would be my short name. Miss Jolie.
Miss Jolie.
Hey, Miss Jolie. How you doing today? I would have a field day with her, dude. I would be like, I mean, as in like I would talk to her and have good conversations. That's what I mean. That is what I mean when I say field day.
Clip it right there.
We would have good conversations. No, so you kind of just said it. Like, so the one of the last questions I have for you right now is: should mutants already secretly exist in the MCU, or do you think they appear suddenly because of a major event? Obviously, the major event we're going towards right now is Doctor Doom. But do you think they're like, as of right now, it's not because of Doom that we're gonna introduce all the mutants, right?
There has to be some kind of I do think there has to be some kind of event. I don't know though. I mean, the thing that I like is that the mutants are gonna want to be low key, period, right? When they're on their own. So maybe there's an event that causes Professor X to come out of the shadows. You know, not
they are good at hiding. Yeah, that would make sense.
And I think that once he does that, that's what, once he kind of comes out of the shadows is when others start to come out too. So I think they've all been like too afraid because, and I think that's where, the very first episode, again, I talked about it is Cyclops, but the first half of it is really Professor X talking about mutants being hated and feared. I think you show like instances of people being murdered because of they're mutants, because of that. And so why are they afraid? Why you're showing why they're afraid.
We are getting little hints of it as of right now, like especially in the Wonder Man series.
Right.
I don't know if you watched that yet.
Right.
But,
yeah, it's fantastic.
They talk about
fantastic.
like, hey, they don't. Yeah,
So
they
good.
talk about how they don't hire. They don't hire people with superhuman, superpowered people, right? In my head, I'm like, okay, they can't just be talking about the Avengers, right?
Right. They're not.
Well,
and I think
so they need to be
it up so he's a mutant.
Yeah, I do think he's a mutant. I do think there's other mutants that are already like secretly behind the scenes have been like coming to fruition.
Doorman or whatever.
Yeah, Doorman obviously, but I just
knock.
knock knock, right? Yeah. But I literally feel like they did that, and when I rewatched the series, I was like, wait, who are they talking about exactly?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way like it's just it's just Doorman, right? No, I think there's mutants already coming out. I think there's superpowered people already.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be. They're talking about a big group of people, so I wouldn't be surprised if they are. And like it kind of leads into Spider-Man with the whole rumors about Sadie Sink being Jean Grey and her being hunted by the DoD, which was obviously the main bad in Wonder Man.
You can see all that stuff. I think
100%
to blend it is that's how you would blend it would be to have guys like the Wonder Man where Professor X visits Wonder Man, right? Like he's trying to get Wonder Man to be on the X-Men, and he's like, dude, no, I can't. Like I'm hiding this, or right? You know what I mean? Like, and then eventually, I think you have Wonder Man is an Avenger, but like if you go back to the original Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were on that team. Back
they need to introduce that
X-Men
in some way,
and then they even like kind of eventually coming down the pipeline that they were like Magneto's kids, so like you're like, oh wow, okay. So I don't know if you tie any of that together. I don't think it's necessary. I think
I feel like they would need to recast anyway.
Right.
They would have to reboot it in some way.
But I think you could do with like as you're building out new characters, because the other thing that you got to think about too is like, I mean, I don't know, this sounds stupid, but I mean, how much did they pay Robert Downey Jr. to be a part of all this stuff? A shit ton of money.
Exactly.
Right? But they didn't pay him nearly that much for Iron Man 1, and so you got all these characters that you're like, you sign these big contracts with so that you can tell that big story, build them up into these big pieces, and you're not having to bend over backwards. So you're like, Elizabeth Olsen would be fantastic to have her as Scarlet Witch as a mutant. Shoot, like that's a big paycheck for Elizabeth Olsen. And so, well, we can adjust that to tell a different story, because I'd rather that money go into special effects, that money go into building out
more CGI beast, something. Like I really want to see like. Yeah, and then I believe they were talking about recently. They just talked about the guy. They attached something to the X-Men where they were talking about who's going to create like the X Mansion and all that stuff. I forgot who it was, but it's basically the same people that made it look dark and stuff for the Doomsday snippets.
Right.
I think it's going to be heavily. I think the X Mansion is going to be something where it's like they need to focus on it. Like you mentioned a little bit, like season 2, they talk about the school. I really do feel like, hey, this is going to be like a hub for the X-Men, obviously. Yeah. And I think that, like, if they put more money into that, like you said, maybe get some lesser named people, like lesser known actors to portray some of the roles and really focus on everything else. And I like, that's just, to me, I'm like, dude, get the X Mansion right. That's going to be super important.
Yeah.
I think too, you do it where at the end of season 2, where it is that new team and all that kind of stuff, is where you start to establish. So the season finale of the second season that I had written out, or that I had kind of outlined, would be after Days of Future Past, after everything's happened, Wolverine goes out on his own. But that's where the school becomes this kind of primary place. But then that's where all the shit goes down in the Fall of the Mutants. Like it all is coming to your home, like this is on your home turf. So
and how cool was that when they did that in X?
This is all like exactly, but this is all like, I don't know, like this would just be what I thought off the top of my head, writing it out.
I think it would be sick,
like visioning it out. But what I really think is going to happen is they're going to try their best to. My hope is that Secret Wars is a reset. That's my hope.
It needs to be some type of reset.
A full on reset with all their entities by that time. I hope that they have some kind of a better, like a more solid plan with the Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
I would love to see Spider-Man solely in Disney, not in Sony, because I mean, shoot, dude, I'm sorry, but I tried. I turned it on for maybe 10 minutes. The last Venom,
The Last Dance. Yeah,
I was like, I can't. I'm not. I'm good.
Yeah, it was tough.
I didn't even watch. I think the only one I ever watched was the first Venom,
which was it was watchable too. It wasn't the best, but it was watchable.
But it was like, I mean, I didn't mind Morbius, but it was like, get this shit out of here. You know,
the last like 40 minutes we talked about this actually on a prior episode.
Yeah,
the last 40 minutes of Morbius was horrible. The first half of it was
right.
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Well, I had the same thing. Like Craven, I'm like, dude, that dude, Aaron Taylor Johnson's a savage. I'm like, okay, you are.
They just didn't do the story right.
It's just like, it's like, Sony, what are you guys doing? Like,
right. Well, and by that point, they built up a reputation of their like side projects that they've been trying to do for these characters, and they just haven't been hitting.
Not working.
Yeah. So by Craven, we were like, you know, what's going to happen?
Yeah. Okay. Like, I mean, Madam Web comes out, and you're just like, wait, what are we watching?
Yeah.
Horrible.
All right. Well, I
love Into the Spider-Verse though.
Come on,
those are some of the best movies.
It has the potential to be the best trilogy, superhero trilogy.
Why would they not? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, why wouldn't Sony
just capitalize on that?
Right. You like you know how to. You guys are allowing good stories to come out.
Right.
Why aren't you doing that with live action?
Or
is
just
it a
focus.
Entity that owns that Into the Spider-Verse?
No, it's Sony.
Different department. I mean, Sony Animation and Sony. I mean, same but different.
My thing is, it's like, why haven't they focused more on the animation side of it? Like, they do it so well, where it's like it's a $1 billion movie, right? And it's like,
isn't that what they are doing with that Venom, right?
With the Venom, the rated R, which is like, that's what's big. That's why everyone's like, holy crap, you know, it's gonna be an R-rated animated Venom movie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe what they should be doing is being like, hey, let's just do a deal with Disney, all live action. Disney, you go for it. We get all the animation.
Yep,
100%. I agree. You know? And like, honestly, it's a win-win. If they produce stuff like they did for the Spider-Verse movies, no one's going to complain.
I mean,
well, and you can tell. I mean, that's the thing too. You can tell so many stories in cartoons because it's like so, like, you know. I mean, it's just
you do whatever you want.
It's drawn stuff.
Yeah. Like you think of the Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show that came out last year. Like, that was one of my favorite Disney projects that they've done, and you know, animation wise, like that was such a cool interpretation of Spider-Man.
Did Sony have anything to do with that at all?
You know,
so any animate, they only have the rights to live action.
Yep.
So Disney owns the rights to the animate. Like, basically, they own the main rights to they're allowed to use Spider-Man in an animated series.
They can use him in it.
I believe if it's not longer than like an hour long each episode or something like that.
That's why they were able to do it.
Yeah, so
that's cool.
Yeah, I do want to go on with some. We do this little segment where we do like some fun would you rather questions, right?
Yeah.
And so this one's kind of, these ones are kind of like kind of funny.
Yeah. Just like
shout out.
Yeah, shout out Poppy
too.
Poppy, I just want to thank our sponsor, Poppy.
Yeah, Poppy. Yeah, thank you, Poppy. That's Liquid Death. Yeah,
Liquid Death. Yeah, it's Liquid Death.
I also have a Fresca.
We got all the drinks.
All the drinks.
We're brewing.
We're brewing.
No, but yeah, so thanks for brewing with us so far. No, it's great. But you guys ready for it?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna let you guys kind of take away with the answers. So these are a little ridiculous. Yeah, these they're not gonna be hard. You know, these are just gonna be some ridiculous questions. You know, X-Men focused, obviously.
Okay.
So they're gonna be rapid fire. So it's gonna be quick little answers. You guys could talk about whatever, but I do want to try to get through them. So the first one is, would you rather be a student at Xavier's school or work for Magneto's Brotherhood?
Dude.
God.
Yeah, since you mentioned the Brotherhood so much, and I think that's actually a good plot of the show. What do you mean by
work? Like I'm a janitor? I have to clean up all
the... as in like, you know, well, I don't see it like, you know how Professor X, his whole team is like a school. Magneto's not. Magneto's like, hey, you got to be doing something. You know, the Brotherhood, like you gotta be doing something. Like, would you basically rather be part of that, or would you rather be part of the X-Men?
Do we have powers?
Right?
We have powers.
Maybe you're not a main role. Maybe you're like a super side character.
Oh,
right?
My chances maybe you are of dying at Xavier's
maybe you do
are
have
higher.
to mop the floors.
Yeah.
Can we just
maybe you do have to mop the floors.
What is our power first?
Yeah.
Before we say
stuff.
Okay, so my power is cleaning.
You have a comic relief power, so maybe For the
I'm
X-Men,
dying.
you could turn on and off TVs, right, at the school. And
Okay.
then for
I can control
Magneto's Brotherhood, you could shoot water out of your hands, but it's not like a massive amount. It's just enough to be like a hose.
I mean, honestly, because like if I could control technology, I think I'd go Magneto style. Because I'm like, hey, bro, I'm working for you. We're freaking robbing some bank stock. We're changing some things. What do you need done? Like we're doing that stuff.
Okay, so Mr. ScoopFlow himself is gonna be working for the Brotherhood. Evil.
Only if I
got it written down, dude.
Utilizing my talent. Because I
maybe,
feel like,
but like, you know what? You're like the 5th option, or like the 7th option.
They're like, all right, Brant, come on.
like
they rather pick Toad instead of you 99% of the time.
why are you trying to sell it? You're trying to sell being a student at Xavier's very
No. Xavier School, all you do is turn on and off TVs. That's all you do. Maybe like you could control the blinds going down.
I mean, that's the thing is like,
so that
it's such a waste. You're like, I have all this skill and talent, and I'm at Xavier's School turning off televisions and projectors. It's really good.
Yeah, that's all you got. That's all you figured out so far.
I feel like Magneto's gonna look at you. He's like, hey, we can use this.
Yeah.
Turn off security cameras.
Yeah,
dude.
And you're like, yeah, man.
Absolutely.
You're gonna I feel like if you go with Magneto, he's gonna use you. He's gonna use you.
Yeah.
So you'll get used. At Xavier's, you're not. You're not getting used. You're just like, cool.
True.
I could be.
You know what? I agree with you. Actually, yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm there. Okay, how about you guys? Austin and Cameron, do you guys agree with that?
I agree because if I'm at Xavier's, it gets attacked so many times, I'm just dying right away.
That is true. Yeah, that's 100% valid. You have a better chance of living.
There's gonna be a gun pointed at me. I'm just gonna be.
Hey, dude, you see that Cameron guy?
I'm dead.
The light switch guy?
Yeah. Is he okay?
Yeah.
He's just on the ground dead, just gone.
Yeah, no, he got killed last week.
Light switch guy.
I can turn the light on myself.
Imagine.
They have a clicker, but they're like, no.
No, and then it just pans to Wolverine. He walks into a room and he's like, "Why'd the damn lights not turn on?"
And
he's just pissed.
He's
like
super hard.
Yeah, he's pissed.
No, dude. Okay.
And then it shows Cameron just laying on the ground dead.
I'm in the closet just collecting
dead.
dust.
Just done. Yeah, imagine. God.
So I'm guessing the same thing.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'd have a cooler power.
Yeah,
than
I feel like Professor X just doesn't appreciate my powers.
Okay. He's like, you're a mutant.
Cool. We're B-listers.
Yeah, just learn. Hey, you need to learn Spanish. It's really important.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Like, I can turn on and off TVs with my mind.
We're gonna do algebra today.
I'll do everyone's taxes.
Dude, the tax man.
No, okay.
I'll be the tax man.
Tax man.
Ding dong.
Ding dong.
No, all right, cool. So next question. Would you rather Wolverine be your physical trainer, like gym trainer, gym partner, or Deadpool be your therapist?
No.
I mean,
Deadpool is just gonna roast me the whole time.
Will he actually, or would you enjoy it though? That's the thing.
You know what, Deadpool?
Yeah, or will he give you totally different random perspectives? You know, like
of
let's
life.
imagine you're talking to your therapist and you're going through like something heavy,
and
he's like, "Well," and I think he could lighten the mood very, very well, make you see an easy thing. The pro about having Wolverine as your physical trainer is like, you're gonna do whatever he says,
right?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna get ripped.
So you're gonna get so buff.
He's gonna be so mean to me where I'm not ever gonna say no. And I'm gonna get
like,
so buff. Yes, sir.
He like slowly raises it like
you're like, one more rep, got it, dude.
For sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Deadpool as a therapist. I think he could open up my mind to a whole bunch of new things.
I feel like yeah, I could see it. I think it's a good thing. I mean, I think there's pros,
positives. Yeah.
There's also cons, though. I mean, Wolverine being your trainer, it's like you're gonna hate it.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna look great afterwards.
Very
like
true.
I could use Wolverine as my
days.
trainer right now. I'd be so much more buff.
Yeah, dude, same.
Deadpool, like, it could give you a different perspective, but it also could, like, I could see where it, like, you know, I mean, really bad influence on you.
No, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably gives you coke or something, dude. Like, you'd be like, yeah, just do this.
He
just
could
do that.
He could talk to like he could break the fourth wall with like the people that are watching us as a simulation. They're like, oh yeah, like what do you guys think he should be doing? And it's just like, oh yeah,
this dude's an idiot.
Yeah, this is not very fun.
You're just watching, like,
yeah, just watching this whole thing go on.
Dude,
who's he talking to?
Yeah.
What is happening?
No
that would
idea.
actually
I
be
I think I go with Wolverine.
Probably.
okay. So
But I
Wolverine
would
is a big
probably
pick for that one.
disappoint him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
but imagine when he calls you bub for the first time.
Dude.
That's how you win it.
That's how you know you made it.
Instant gratitude.
Yep.
Yeah, you're like, yep.
He said,
I'm
"You're looking
bub."
good, bub." You're like,
He
"Yes."
gives you a fist bump and you're scared because you're like, are the claws gonna pop
Yeah,
out?
dude.
Like,
You're like, yeah, wait
Wait a
a
minute.
yeah,
minute.
like how hard do I hit this? I don't want to hurt.
Dude.
I don't want to feel the name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, this next one is kind of a darker situation, not too dark, but it's more of like a mess up situation. All right. Would you rather accidentally erase someone's memory like Professor X or accidentally destroy a building like Cyclops?
Are there people in the building?
Yes.
You're in a museum.
It's a museum, so it's full of people.
Yeah, it's
Or
full
not.
of people.
It's full.
Yeah,
of,
it-
oh
It's
wait,
night at
hold
the
on.
museum.
You know,
Full of
you're there.
most, most likely
Who live
children.
great lives.
Children
You're
on
there-
a school tour.
You're there after hours, okay?
after hours.
Maybe you know
After
what?
hours.
Maybe yeah. So maybe there's
Ben
no
Stiller's
people there. You
there.
just destroy like an historic building.
But
What's the
there's
night
some-
at the museum? What's that museum?
the Museum
the-
of Natural History.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In New
so
York.
maybe you're
Is
there.
there security guards there? So you're talking about maybe 6 deaths.
But one of them is Ben Stiller.
This is
So
you. This is like you're the janitor, and then somehow you realize, crap,
It's you.
I have laser vision.
You're the only janitor
you
Yep,
just cut
100%.
stuff
in the
up.
whole thing, dude.
Yeah, you saw Ben Stiller.
You're
dude.
doing.
He's
You're like,
always-
I'm down.
he
I'm
was the
killing
only
this
security
building. I'm
guard.
the only
And
janitor
look at how
here.
that turned
I'm
out, Max. Look at how that
fucking
turned out.
He almost
Not
ruined
fucking-
everything.
Yeah.
over this place.
Three times.
just like you accidentally trip and fall over your mop bucket, and you're like, oh no, and then out of nowhere,
Hey, yeah, I accidentally tripped over my solo job. I'm like,
Dude,
I gotta
I think it would be
clean
great.
all of this museum by myself.
what about this person? What's their life?
Yeah, who are we erasing?
What
their
person's
memory?
memory? Yeah.
that's the thing. How about if you don't know him? You know,
Just
how about if you're
someone
like,
random.
oh fuck, I just
Yeah,
messed
so
up someone's whole
I
life.
don't feel anything. There's no
You
connection. to
don't
me.
nothing. Okay, how about if it's a let me think.
Well,
Okay,
this
let
is
me think. Let me
changing
think of
things
someone
here.
we're all
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
here we go. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe no.
A
You know what?
family
Maybe,
member.
yeah, maybe
tough.
it's a family member.
Wow.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like a
telling
third
you,
cousin.
museum
Third
dead. I
cousin
can't
removed.
erase-
I don't
I
know.
Third
don't
cousin
erase memory of
removed.
the family.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Imagine that. See, the
Yeah,
stakes are
so-
too high now for that one. Yeah.
I'm still taking down the museum. dude.
Yeah,
That's easy.
the museum
Like,
can
I'm
You
go.
take down the museum.
I'm like,
Okay,
I'm,
see,
I'm not even tripping. I'm over
So-
my mop. I'm like,
Yeah.
just like,
You find out
I
you
hate my
have it.
job.
imagine you accidentally bump into your coworker at work, like that you're best friends with, and
And
he
you-
just erased everything.
Oh my God.
He just erased everything.
You're like, oh,
Like me and Austin,
Oh,
we
no.
hit shoulders on accident, or we went to go pick up a mix cup from the floor, or
What
chocolate
do
chip
you
muffin
do
top on the
next?
floor, dude.
When that's the scenario.
you're like,
He's
I'll
like,
fix this.
"Whoa,
Don't
you
worry.
You just erase your best friend's memory.
I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do. I Spider-Man.
Deep.
Reverse
I'll
Spider-Man
just take a
him.
cup of coffee.
Dude,
I just take a cup of coffee. I just have a nice necklace you have there.
no. That's so sad.
Like, and you just drop subtle hints every week.
Every week.
Like try to jog his
It's
memory
like,
a little bit
You
more.
should check this podcast out.
Yeah. You ever heard of the Hero Brew?
The
Just-
Hero Brew?
This guy that used to be on it sounds just like
Just
you.
like
Yeah.
you.
Starts watching
Just
the videos.
listen
He's
to the
like,
audio.
wait.
Do
Just
not
don't
watch the
watch the
video.
video.
Yeah.
We'll just send him the audio files.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. No, that's
Heavy.
That'd
Yeah,
be
and then-
crazy.
yeah, that was kind
I
of
guess
heavy
there
one,
is
but
something though. You're like taking down a museum, like all those artifacts, all that stuff.
That's what I'm
pretty
saying, dude.
intense. Yeah.
Imagine taking down the Mona
Okay,
Lisa.
here. Okay, let me flip it to you, Max.
No.
Okay, you have to either take Cameron or Austin's memory away. Which one? Who are you taking?
I'm gonna volunteer. I'm gonna volunteer. Max, take mine.
Oh, you know what? I would be like,
I got some
would-
troubled past.
Honestly, I would if I accidentally ran into one of them. It just so happened. The worst part is, I think I would accidentally run into Austin more. You know,
He would give me a high five and he wouldn't even realize.
And they'd be like,
I'd
"Oh,
be like,
shoot."
damn it, dude. And I think it would happen to Austin.
Probably.
I think it would happen to Austin.
So then, in a real life
By
scenario,
proximity.
it happens. In a
Yeah.
real life scenario, you're bringing them back. You're like, no, I didn't mean to do this. You're sitting them down. You're having them watch the episodes.
Yeah.
We're
Dude,
gonna-
watching the episodes,
51st
I'm
Dates
gonna
Part
show
all
him-
his favorite places. You're like, dude.
I'm gonna be like, look, dude, do you remember? This is where we made a cup of coffee.
It's like,
The only thing he would be would be like, oh, you remember you're a Ravens fan though, but you are a Ravens. Like, no, I know that one. Hold on.
Yeah, Ravens fan.
Hey, did you see that the nonsense with Max Crosby?
Dude, insane.
It's so crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
We talked about it before you hopped on, and it was I'm a Ravens fan, so it's kind of hard, but
brutal.
You get your picks back.
Fans.
Got your picks
we did get our picks back.
And
we had a bad
Trey Hendrickson.
You know, I don't know who that doctor is, but shoot. But
Man.
I mean, but
yeah, that's
kind of be a saving
Max
grace.
Crosby, and he didn't know.
Yeah,
Max Crosby didn't know.
That would actually save him the embarrassment because I felt bad for him.
Yeah,
he was posting in
Baltimore. Yeah, he was there.
Like he was there, and then I was like, I mean, I've seen some funny gifs.
Do you know Peyton Borsma? You know Trav's son, Peyton.
Yeah, Trav's son.
So he's a massive Ravens fan. So I was like hyped for him. You know, I was like, oh,
my dog.
I was like, oh
no,
we got Hendrickson though.
Yeah,
we got a dog still, but who knows? Cool. That's actually all I have right now for the X-Men questions. Do you guys have anything you guys want to bring up to Mr. ScoopFlow himself?
Did you guys have some? I mean, if you could prime time your top 3 X-Men fan cast, who you want to see as an X-Men?
I got one that you didn't say.
We got I have a couple as well. So
it's like a smaller role. Well, not a smaller role, but I'm X-Men 97. I think that I know this one's been tossed around a lot, but when I heard it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly where my head was going. For Gambit, I think Austin Butler could play that role really well. You know, the dude that's he's got like that method acting, like, you know, he can jump into any persona. If you've seen the Elvis movie, I don't know, where he plays him. Yeah. Like, I think he could really take on that role, you know, get the good, you know, Cajun dialect to his demeanor, things like that. Channing Tatum did an amazing job too. I thought it was pretty, you know, well done. But Austin Butler was someone that I was like, yeah, that he could play that role for sure.
For the next 20 years.
Exactly. And he's younger. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I had
Go ahead, Cam.
I really had, like, for Cyclops, I had Dacre Montgomery.
Yeah, that's a cool one too.
But I didn't think about it. I was like, but wait.
Dude, that's
Stranger Things season 2.
I had before.
Yeah. I was like, but wait.
That's why I had him.
We think Sadie Sink's gonna be Jean Grey, but they were brother and sister in Stranger Things, and that'd be so weird. That's like Elizabeth Olsen and Aaron Taylor Johnson in Godzilla.
I had him as Wolverine. I had him as Wolverine.
I could see that.
I could see that.
Only because of how badass he was in Stranger Things, you know, where he's just like a little, you know, attitude.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I mean, and then I thought of Shia LaBeouf, and I was like, he's like a real life.
It's a lock. Yeah.
Psychopath. So I love Shia LaBeouf, by the way.
I could see.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf.
What is it? Pedro Mescal.
Oh, Pedro Mescal
as Wolverine.
Yeah, that guy's a gangster too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, me and him aren't on the best terms either, but it's okay.
Wait, why?
Why is that? What happened?
Wait, why? Who's he dating?
Gracie Abrams.
You're right, he is.
I'm
Max
guessing
got hella beef.
Max is like, he's like, I've only fan casted a bunch of ladies. Like,
he's like, that's so weird.
What's crazy? I actually have some picks, and it kind of goes with yours since you talked about having Colossus, right? When you talk about having Colossus, there's one important character. You already mentioned Kitty Pryde, but you got to mention his sister, right? His sister Magic.
Yeah, that's
okay. So I think, which they did in New Mutants.
Yeah,
they had Anna Taylor-Joy. I think they keep her as Magic. I think she was perfect, and I think that's where we go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we do have Colossus in the MCU, we need to have some sort of magic.
Yeah.
And so I think that would be great. And then we also mentioned, and I'm just kind of going off what you said. You mentioned Alan Richardson, right?
Yeah.
I actually have him fan cast as Beast.
Yes, I've thought about that one too.
I saw it one time and I was like, dude, he's in that movie with I believe with Henry Cavill. What is it? Extraordinary Gentleman?
Or the something warfare, right?
Untrue Warfare or something like that.
Oh my gosh, hold on.
So what is that movie called?
I'll get it.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes, 100%.
Yes.
And dude, there's
the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I know it had gentleman in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was wearing like a turtleneck long sleeve thing. He had his glasses, but he was super buff. And I was like, dude, this dude could play Beast. He could play a smart character, right? And I think he really could be like a Beast. And he has the size, especially if they want to go with like, you mentioned in the very beginning of the podcast, like we got introduced to the Beast in X-Men by like he was in his human form. He didn't have, the hair. He didn't have the blue fur yet.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did that in the First Class as well. But this dude is just so. Alan Ritchson's a tank, dude. He's just big, and I think that would already fit his like role. Like he doesn't need to be this scrawny guy that turns into this big beast guy. Like he's already like that in his human form.
Right.
And so I'm like, dude, yeah, those were like two of the picks that I kind of went over. I mentioned Patrick Schwarzenegger as Cyclops already. Obviously, we mentioned Margaret Qualley. I think Mark Strong would be a great Professor X.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't do it with him is just because of how old he is.
That is true.
Yeah, that's very true. His eyebrows aren't that dominant, but I think they could put some fake eyebrows on him.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that I thought of that would be kind of fun is I'm drawing a blank now. He does all the talk. He does all like the Italian cooking shows. He's older. Stanley Tucci.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Kind of fun. I basically was like, who's bald out there? And I was like, oh,
yeah.
But Max Strong. Well, I mean, heck, but yeah. I try, but I think with that role though, like you can be older because it's not like you're out there actually doing action things.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you need a stunt double.
Yeah.
So,
and then
would you have any
some character?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say one of the villains, like
I was actually gonna ask
you
that.
mentioned
That's crazy.
I was gonna say like you mentioned a couple of villains. Like did you obviously I think Bolivar Trask, if you're gonna introduce the Sentinels, you need Trask, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need him.
Yeah, he'd be in there.
I have no idea who would play him though, right? Like we had what's his face from Game of Thrones?
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage
Mm-hmm.
as Bolivar
The
Trask.
boy.
Yeah, and so like that was my only interpretation of him, like that I ever got. But, just thinking about other villains, we obviously have like Mr. Sinister, which is huge, right? John
Sinister
Hamm would be great.
Gangster.
Yeah, dude, they need to do Mr. Sinister right. I think, especially if they go with like a Madeline Pryor arc, which they should do like in live action. I think that would be great. You need Mr. Sinister, right? He created her. So
I think that this is what there's some that's again why I think there should be a TV series because there's so many characters that you can just you can have this whole arc be one season and it's 6 episodes and you're go through this whole thing of Madeline Pryor being in love with Scott and then anyways.
Or we don't even need to know that it's Madeline Pryor. We could think it's Jean Grey the whole time and then it ends up being Madeline Pryor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows?
Anyway, there's some good stuff out there, boys. I do think I think that I think that they're gonna make X-Men. It's happening. Right. And however they do that. So what I do believe is it's going to impact the comic sales. I think that the Lucas Museum is opening up this year down in California.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to have a lot of different pop culture stuff. They're going to have a lot of comic art. They're going to have a bunch of stuff. And I think that you're going to see in a museum, a big dope museum for the first time, really a center of comic art being a focal point in that museum. And I think that is going to boost up the values of comic art and then and also comic books as a whole. And so I think comics graded stuff is just getting bananas, you see graded things going sideways.
When that New York Comic Con, when we went and we saw that one frame was worth how much? The one picture? Dude, insane.
So, I mean, there's just that stuff is coming down the pipeline. So when I think X-Men doing Disney X-Men, my hope is that they do tell the story and they take their time. And I think they can tell a really great story. But in the midst of it, I hope it stirs up the comic world as well. My hope is that they just do a blow up everything and just start everything over, clean slate. And there is granted going to be a retelling. There is going to be a re-origin story. I think there is going to be all that stuff, but it's gotten so saturated. It's the sad part of it being a corporation owned, intellectual property.
Yeah.
Because they're just trying to soak as much coin out of you as possible. And so there's so many number 1 issues. X-Men number 1 came out again. Oh, there's another. There's how many X-Men titles are there now? I mean, when I was a kid, you had Uncanny X-Men and X Factor, and then New Mutants, and it was like it was 3 titles, and that was it. And then it was like all of a sudden it was like Uncanny X-Men, X Factor, New Mutants, X-Men, Wolverine, and you just started stacking these things up, and it just dilutes the whole story. And so that's why I think like you have a show that you can do it. I think the only things that you branch out with are the popping things like Wolverine. Like Wolverine is going to be its own story. Wolverine is going to tell his own world. Like,
yes, yeah.
I'm excited though, man. I'm in for it. I think we've kind of gone through a lot of like sludge in the MCU since since Endgame. Like, I think there's been some great, some good, and a lot of blah. And like, I mean, I liked Fantastic Four. I thought it was great. I watched it again, a couple months later, but like, there's some movies that I'm like, like, I'm good. I don't need to watch Marvels again. I don't need to watch that again. I'm good. And then even TV series where I'm like, I haven't even given it a chance because it's just like doesn't pull at me at all,
Yeah.
But and so like when Wonder Man came out, it was like, whoa, yeah,
it was dope.
That was like a surprise and delight. It was like, ooh, this is pleasant. I like this.
It was well written. It was so good. We didn't get that much powers, but it was just so well written.
So cool. But yeah,
like
I
build
like
a story.
that I'm hopeful that they continue to develop stories like that that'll actually like be well written and actually have great acting in it, and also like just draw you in. I mean, because the thing, like, I didn't watch Wonder Man when it dropped. I didn't watch it until hype came because, well, I mean, we were in New York Comic Con and we watched the whole sneak peek of it, and it was like, okay, this is cool. These actors are dope. I like these actors. But I'm like, I mean, well, whatever. And then like, I didn't watch it until all of it was out. And but then it was just like, as soon as I watched the first episode, I was like, oh, this is sick. I like this. So I'm hopeful that they'll continue to trend forward. I'm hyped on X-Men 97 next season coming out.
This year, right?
I believe so. And it's going to be good. I mean, X-Men 97 was so bitchin'. And I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch Marvel Zombies. That was awesome as well.
So sick.
So like, there's one of our favorites. Stuff. They are making some good stuff.
Right.
I'm like, take all the success that you've done and all the failures that you've done and just learn from it. Mr. Feige,
he knows what he's doing.
He's cooking.
In Feige we trust.
Feige we trust.
In Feige we trust.
I have kind of changed it to in Feige I hope.
In Feige.
Fair. That's fair.
Feige, if you're hearing this, he didn't mean it, dude. He didn't mean it.
Feige, if you're hearing this, dude, text me, bro. Come on, hit me up.
Text back, dude. He left you on red, dude.
I was busy. I'm sorry I didn't answer the call.
Imagine.
He's like, my bad, Mr. Scoop.
He's like, so go ahead and send me a picture of your whiteboard real quick, and then we're gonna make it happen.
He's like,
don't worry.
Yeah, like, could you can you send me a picture of it?
You want to take this and run it through some ChatGPT? We're good.
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, dude, done deal, dog. No, that's crazy. I think you have. I wrote down your layout, and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah, that is sick.
Like, I want to see.
I'll take a screenshot of it before I erase it. And
like,
send it.
I'll produce it. I'll be there like, how much money do you? I'll put $1 in.
Put $1 in.
It's just gonna take some elbow grease.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like let's see here. I mean, Caleb Turner, yeah, we got him. Shia LaBeouf, he's like down for anything. But we've got Johnny Sequoia. We're gonna need you, Max, to really work your magic.
Yeah, I'll work my magic.
All these ladies, we're gonna need you, Max.
Don't worry. By the time I work my magic, she'll probably be engaged to someone else.
It's
fine. It's fine. We'll make it work. She might be engaged to Shia LaBeouf at that time.
Yeah, that would be.
By that time, she might be.
That was my luck, dude.
That's crazy.
No,
well, hey, boys, I got to admit, as soon as I heard that your guys' last, I was working out and I heard your guys' last podcast, and I was like, I gotta put some work. I gotta put some work in here. Let me get some X-Men.
No, we manifested it because we're like, dude, maybe he'll hear this.
Yeah.
And maybe he'll like hit us up and be like, yo, let's be on the pod,
Hey, you guys you gotta know, like, this is you guys are like, I always, anytime I'm doing a workout, I have on my wall, I have like a big old iPad, and I always just play you guys, and then I just do my workout and like so. I'm just listening.
I hope everyone
I
else
don't
listens
see
to
your
that too,
guys'
dude.
pretty faces the whole time, but I do hear
It's
it.
okay. We got good voices too, dude. Watch out.
The Hero Brew
Ah,
is
it's pretty
workout
good,
material.
guys.
Yeah,
I tell you, I really start cranking out those curls once I hear Max talk about
anyone.
I'm like,
You're like,
"Who's
Max, why are you talking about Henry Cavill so much? Dude, Henry Cavill riding a dragon, let me tell you, dog.
Yep.
Let me tell you, dude.
Yep.
It'll get me pumped.
What are they talking about? Him being in Game of Thrones. What were they? What was that thing?
So basically it's a rumor right now that he will be in season 2 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is a spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
But he's also being fan cast as Aegon the Conqueror in the Game of Thrones, or in the Song of Fire and Ice, which is a Game of Thrones story, in the movie that they're going to be making. So they announced a movie. Hopefully, I mean they've announced other projects before and they haven't come through. They officially announced like the Jon Snow post Game of Thrones show, and then they end up not doing it.
Well, that's
they end up saying like, oh, you know what, we're not going to do that anymore, we're going to cancel it. And so they've announced stuff before, so hopefully this rolls through, just because I don't know if you've watched The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but it's great,
top tier.
It's great. And then season 3 of House of Dragon is coming up right now as well. It's coming out in a couple months, and so that one's going to be really good. And so, Game of Thrones is cooking as well, dude. I'm excited for everything coming out. I think this year is a big media year for just pop culture entertainment. And so, really excited about it.
One thing.
There's going to be a lot of cool stuff, dude.
Shout out Cameron. He's already on season 3 after we talked about it.
We didn't tell the audience yet, but Cameron is on season 3 of Game of Thrones, and he just started it.
He's cranking it out.
He just started it.
Yeah.
He was saying he wasn't going to watch it. He was saying he wasn't going to watch it.
Season 2 is Red Wedding, yeah?
No.
No.
Season 3.
End of 3.
End of 3.
Okay. Man,
Cameron, watch out.
Season 2 finale, we just saw all the White Walkers
for the first time.
awaken for the first time.
Yeah.
I've been trying
to saw them walk by
with Sam on the ground behind the rock. Yeah,
dude. Yeah,
I've been trying to get Amber to rewatch Game of Thrones, and she refuses.
I just rewatched it.
The only reason I didn't want to is I'm like this with a lot of things. I didn't want to watch Stranger Things. I'm like, when something's been out for so long,
and
like also there's so many things I'm already watching and things that I'm gonna watch, especially this month.
Invincible comes out in a week?
Next
2 weeks?
week?
A week from now, yeah. So I was like, I just don't think I'll be able to do it, but I started it and I'm just going to try to get through it as much as I can.
I mean, once you get to season 8.
Yeah. I could just get to season 7. I don't really need to see season 8.
Yeah,
yeah, there's some good parts
in 8. I'm not going to...
I don't mind it. Max, were you at the summit where we watched the Game of Thrones? Were you at that one?
No, in San Diego. Was it San Diego Summit?
Was it in San Diego?
Might have been.
I think it was in Kauai, actually.
No, it wasn't. No.
Well, maybe it was. I don't know where. I think it was. No. It might have. It was in. I think it was in San Diego where we did the entree leadership thing. Did you go to that one? Did you go to the Game of Thrones night?
No, I did not.
We watched. So it was season 8, and it was the dark episode.
Oh, gosh.
Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not to give away too much, Cameron, but there's an episode in season 8 where it's so dark.
It's so dark.
See everything.
Yeah, I remember. Austin was watching it recently and he was telling me about it.
Dude, you can't.
Like when you were rewatching it the first time. Yeah, I was like,
it's so hard to see it.
That's how it was with
any show where you can just gather around with a bunch of homies and friends is us the best,
dude.
It's the best.
It's crazy too when you watch that show with the person that's never seen it before. And like you're seeing, it's the worst. It really is the worst, honestly, because you're just like
you get pissed off, dude.
Which makes it the best because
exactly,
that's what you want out of entertainment. You want it to like really like pull at you. You want it to really hit you.
Exactly,
and that's what these X-Men seasons and movies will do.
Facts.
I'm excited about it. I just wish, dude, you got to get this idea.
I keep
looking down at this, and I'm like,
now.
I'm like, dude, this is like, I have it. I'm like episode 1 through 6, dude. I'm like, I'm here for it.
Yeah, like, here, let me. I'll take a picture. I'll send it.
Take a picture and send it to us, dude. Watch out. We might have to post it, dude.
There is even I mean, if you zoom in on it, there's even a little cable action figure looking down.
Sick.
Looking down on. Let me get a good.
He's from the future. He's seen it. He's seen it all happen.
He's like, this is a great idea.
The Hero Brew's claiming all of this.
Yeah, dude. I was like, this is our idea.
Mm-hmm.
Our idea.
Holy.
No, it's
all right.
fresh.
Well, hey, I mean, I didn't really spend a lot of time fan casting.
No, it's fine.
You
There's always
three
time.
as individuals and what X-Men you guys would be.
Yes.
But off the cuff,
Boy.
if I was to do it, I mean, just to seal it all out, okay? I do feel like, Austin, I feel like you are kind of like Bobby Drake. You're like the Iceman.
Ooh.
The only reason I say that,
That's
though,
tough.
is because I feel like you have an ability, especially like, I mean, sometimes I know how it goes when you have to put on that thick skin, that hard ice, and fully become yourself. So I imagine that's you every football season rooting for your team.
Always.
Are you a Steelers fan?
Yeah, it's miserable sometimes.
Yeah.
We're good,
So
but
I
not
get
great.
it.
Yeah.
So you really put on that, and like it helps you to reject, like the truth will bounce right off of
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. It's the same thing
And
for the
you
past 6
hope-
years.
You hope to freeze in time the health of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. Keep his Achilles intact, please.
Yeah, keep out. Gosh. But you know what though? Like I was impressed with them this year.
He looked decent.
But yeah. And I also think the lack of facial hair kind of just reminds me of Iceman. It's an Iceman thing.
Fresh.
Yeah.
That's what we
Okay.
go to.
Cameron.
I'm cool
You're
with
next.
Iceman. That's
Go
dope.
on.
Cameron is, I mean, and this is not to like, it's more comic accurate to me, only because I feel like he was very much like, and this is just, it's the mustache that does it. But like Gambit, I felt like it was always trying to get into ladies' underpants. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like
Yeah,
with the creepy
Cameron.
mustache, Cameron's a little creepy, so I
What?
kind of go a little Gambity, a little creepy Gambity,
Wanna be.
Gambity. But
All right. I thought you were gonna say Forge because of mustache.
dude, Forge would be fantastic. He is one of the ones that I'm like, I would love to see in a live action. He's
It would actually be
love that
insane.
character. And then Max, I mean,
Boy.
obviously, you're
Handsome.
like you've talked about him, like you're very boned out on this guy, but you're
Yes.
the Beast. You'd have to be Beast
I'd be
because
the-
you're like I love Beast. I love him.
Max
He's
pulls
all
his glasses
furry
off.
and hairy. I love his hairy.
I
fur.
don't know. Look, it's not the furry part. Just to make that clear, everyone, it's not the furry thing that I'm into. It is.
You're into furry.
It
Don't
is.
lie.
He's a burly dude. And I'm a burly guy. He's smart. I would think that I'm smart. Yeah. So I see the stuff. I
But
see the
then
resemblance.
again, I didn't give any real attention to any of that. I'm just going purely off of. I'm just judging you guys
Okay.
all based off of the way you look and contribute to the X-Men conversations. And I obviously see myself as Professor X
I was gonna say,
I could
It has to
see
be
you
that,
bald
right?
and
Yeah.
just let's do it, dude.
well,
Or
I mean,
or
they're
at
not-
this point,
it's kind of getting back there. It is.
or at this point, Magneto, dog. Just put
Oh,
a
gosh.
helmet on
Well,
with
if
that
that's the
beard
case,
too,
then
dude.
boys,
Watch
I mean,
out.
then I recast you guys. I go Mastermind, obviously, is Cameron because he's like, what? You know, and then let's see here. We're gonna go with Rogue is
Okay, I thought, dude, I'll take Rogue. I thought you were gonna be like Max, comic accurate, the Blob.
my
You know,
God,
that's
come
where I thought
on.
we were going with it. I was like, don't you dare, dog. Don't you dare recast
I
me as
was
a
gonna
Blob.
go with Austin as Sabretooth. So
I
Well,
can't
listen,
grow
Austin
facial
must
hair,
be
though.
getting cool ones,
Yeah,
dude.
but I
That's
can't.
fine.
You,
That doesn't work.
but I
you
could
know?
see you with. I could see you with facial hair.
If I could
maybe
grow
it's
them,
flip
they'd
flop.
be
Maybe Austin, maybe you're actually a better Mystique because then you can change into whatever. And Max, you're
Shapeshift.
just got a little hairy, so not only are you the Beast, you're also Sabretooth because you're
I'll
the
take
king of furries.
Sabretooth.
That's real.
Yeah, the king of fur. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna change my like bio to be like Max, king of furries.
Max King of Furries.
King of furries. It's like my Game of Thrones name. It's like Sir Max. Yeah,
House of Furries.
House of Furries.
It's your sigil.
Yeah, this sigil is just a furry
Yeah.
squirrel. It's just a squirrel, dude.
On a
Like, no, dude. Brent, before we end this episode, do you want to shout yourself out? Do you want to shout out your company?
I mean,
Shout out
I don't
some
know.
other company?
I just
This is
I'm
your
trying
time to
to-
plug anything.
I'm doing my best to post new episodes of the Comic Room anytime. So
Yes.
you can go on Instagram at the Comic Room. I
Tuesday.
did kind of put some on TikTok, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing in any of this space. I do really enjoy the Comic Room stuff though. And obviously I'm at ScoopFlow as well. I'm excited, dude. We're prepping. We got Invitational 3s coming up this year, so that's super fun. You know, shout out to my boy BD out there. I'm Brandon Davis continuing to rock the world. Rob Liefeld, that guy. If you do not listen to Rob's Observations, there is a catalog of comic information that you can find out there with that guy, and that's more comic book centric. And of course, just a shout out to you guys, man. Hero Brew Podcast. You guys are rocking and ripping.
Let's
Appreciate
go.
you guys.
Appreciate
thanks
you,
for
dog.
assisting me on all my workouts.
Yeah, dude, we're here for it. We
Yeah.
got you.
Yes, sir.
You know what? Cool. Well, on that note, I just want to say thank you guys for brewing with us. It's been a fun episode. Appreciate you guys. You can follow us at the Hero Brew Podcast on all socials, and then just comment, like, and subscribe to our latest YouTube video. Appreciate you guys. ScoopFlow, thank you again.
Thank you. Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
you
you.
being on here, dude.
Mhm.
Thank you
You
guys.
gotta come back more.
So
Super
sick.
fun. Love it.
Cool. Peace.
Peace out,
See you
guys.
next week.